Hey, what's up, everybody? This is our AEW Dynamite post show for Wednesday, April the 7th. Tonight, the band back together, Bullet Club, rides again. Darby defends the title, and everything else that happened on AEW Dynamite. Let's go! Hey, whoa, hey, ho there. What's up, everybody? I'm Dave. My man Johnny's here. My man Glen is here. What's up, dudes? The AEW team in full effect.
Booyaka shot.
How you doing, guys? How you doing? Johnny?
I'm all right. I thought the show tonight wasn't that great, but you can't have a good show every week, unfortunately.
Wow. Mean. I thought the show was pretty good. I love the finish of the show tonight. Loving it. If you're an old school Bullet Club fan, this is what you wanted to see. This is what you wanted to see from the Young Bucks. You wanted to see them join up with Kenny. Finally have that edge, have that heel flavor. That's what made the Bucks the Bucks. That's what made them hot. That's what made the Bullet Club the hottest group in professional wrestling. The heel faction Bullet Club, with the Bucks doing dastardly things, Kenny being a heel. This babyface Bucks has worked for, whatever in AEW, but it's not their best. I think they're best as these snotty heels that just people hate or love to hate. And I loved seeing the Bucks turn on Jon Moxley tonight. I even tweeted before the match. I said, well, let me get you the exact tweet. I want to quote myself correctly.
I believe it was something to the effect of, you want to see him turn on him.
Yeah, that's right. Anybody else want to see the Bucks turn on Moxley here? And then they did it. I was pretty happy. I was pretty happy when they turned on Moxley. I was pretty happy, and we'll break it all down and what happened and the whole show tonight. But let's just say Kenny and the Good Brothers beating the Young Bucks and Jon Moxley tonight in the main event. I didn't think it was the match of the night, but I did think it was the moment of the night and some pretty exciting stuff at the end of an AEW show. One of the best finish closing angles for an AEW Dynamite I have seen since maybe Kenta showed up on AEW. And maybe that's because I'm a New Japan fan and I like, seeing people cross over, and I like to see those storylines kind of cross over. But seeing the Bucks, when Nick Jackson decided, no, we're going to super kick you, Jon Moxley. When they threw those kicks, I jumped out of my chair. I was hyped. I was like, yes, get that man. Get him. Throwing up the two sweets. Getting super excited about the Young Bucks turning on Jon Moxley. It's exactly what I wanted to see. It was a beautiful story. I love the way they did it. This was, to me, the best finish angle to a Dynamite show since Kenta showed up. This left me more hyped for what's to come. This was great. They set up a lot of good stuff tonight. This being one of them, and I thought it was a hot angle. It got me excited. Glenn, what did you think about the finish to the show? Or before we get to the finish,
it was great.
What do you think about the show overall? Johnny didn't like it. I thought it was a good Dynamite.
Well, I got to agree with Johnny on the wrestling aspect. The wrestling kind of sucked tonight, technically, except for the last match. But the interviews and the promos were really good. That carried it through, I found. The matches didn't, they were kind of so-so, kind of, whatever. I didn't really have a match, except for the last one, that really flowed. You know what I mean? Or really shocked you, where you went like, wow, that was great. But the interview, Jericho, come on. Jericho's incredible.
Killer promo from Jericho.
Before I say anything,
yeah.
Before we go on to anything, Johnny's hair is absolutely, every week gets better and better. I got to tell you, Johnny, I don't know what's going on over there. He's like a young Yasmin Bleeth. It's beautiful. I'm telling you, man.
Wow.
It's like,
I feel.
I'm telling you.
I feel she's a lot more tan than me. But that's interesting. I appreciate the hair, and her hair is fantastic. There's no question about that.
It
so
is. Well,
I appreciate that.
Highest compliment I could give you, Johnny. Highest compliment I could give you, man.
I'm tangled
Beautiful.
up, guys.
Yeah, well, because you were spinning on your chair before, man.
I was spinning around. I was getting all excited. I'm all tangled up.
What are you going to say, Johnny?
I also feel that Yasmin Bleak, she's a lot more attractive than I am. There's no question about that. I think you'd agree with that.
Don't sell yourself short, Johnny. Never.
Wow. Let's face it. I mean, she's a supermodel. Like, if I could be a model at best, like, I'd be lucky. Like so. But I appreciate that.
Even Douglas Lee just agreed. Johnny's super beautiful.
Unbelievable.
What is Dave going on about over here? He's had way too much coffee. You're not allowed coffee after 10 p.m., Dave. I don't know what the heck's going on over here.
Huh? Sorry.
Oh, he's got something in his coffee for sure. You put a little
I feel like it might
Irish
be the white
whiskey
liquor
or
again.
something in there.
The white liquor? How dare you, John? I have never touched the white liquor in my life. When he's talking about the white liquor, he's talking about cocaine, which I've never done, and I do not support. Johnny, nor
do I.
How dare you? I am not Jim Leahy and Randy, okay? I do not support the white liquor here.
I thought that was White Lightning.
I mean, we saw Mike Tyson on the show tonight. Johnny's getting a little excited, so, talking about the white liquor. Mike Tyson knows all about. Anyways, all right, I fixed my I fixed my headphones now. We're good. I was like really caught in the chair. I couldn't goddamn move, and something had to be done. All right, something had to be done.
As long as you're fixed. You fixed yourself. It's good.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Hey, he's all right for you. For the next 5 minutes, he's good.
Shout out to the members. Shout out to the members.
Shout out to the members.
Angelo.
People wanted to call.
Boys.
Angelo is on the
My
chat.
broken pinky.
Shout out to Angelo. Shout out to Doug. Angelo says, my moment of the night was Jericho's promo on Pinnacle. That was awesome. It was awesome. It was tremendous. Mako, I see you. Jacko wants to know if you could call in. Yeah, you could call in. We have a Discord. You go to call.ringsidereport.net. I see our chat there wrote the wrong, they wrote Rimside. They put an M there. There shouldn't be an M. It's call.ringsidereport.net. There you go. They fixed it right underneath. Sorry about that, team. Call.ringsidereport.net. There was an M. It should have been.
Rimside is a whole different show, boys.
That's another
whole
show.
Different show.
That's Glenn's show. Porno Glenn knows all about that show.
Yeah, enjoy. Tune in after dark. It's like Blue Nuit Plus.
Oh, jeez.
You guys remember Blue Nuit? Are you guys too young for that?
Oh yeah,
remember Blue Nuit
I know
here?
all about Blue Nuit. You know the SQDC, the weed store. They sell a weed called Blue Nuit and hash too. They sell hash and weed called Blue Nuit now. The government is selling this. It's crazy. I bought it. You know I bought it.
Sell one called Emmanuel. Remember Emmanuel?
No. Yeah, I mean, kind of. Patrick C. Hamilton. Patrick C. Hamilton is a member. He's here too. Shout out to Patrick. Respect Patrick. You could call in. Go to call.ringsidereport.net if you want to call in. You could join the Discord, and then there will be a call. We can hear you.
We all remember Blue Nuit Bongo Day.
Yeah, everybody remembers.
How could you forget?
If you're of a certain age.
They used to show commercials during the hockey games. It was crazy.
Oh, yeah, it was the best. There was the
softcore porno.
During the hockey games.
Crazy.
Guys from my age bracket, we had the hardest thing to decide was between Blue Nuit and American Gladiators, switching back and forth. I don't know if anybody remembers that struggle.
Seems like a no contest there.
John's going for the Gladiators every night. Every time he's hitting them Gladiators.
Big Zap fan. He loves Zap.
He wants to see those jack dudes.
Turbo. I always thought Turbo. Like Turbo was the guy, wasn't he? Like Turbo was the biggest.
Yeah, Turbo. Yeah. And Zap was the chick that everybody loved.
I have no idea who any of the Gladiators were. Let's talk about wrestling, guys. Tonight, Inner Circle, they showed up in separate black vehicles to start the show. Not so good on the carbon footprint there, Inner Circle. Like, you all have to show up in separate cars. You couldn't carpool a little bit. Like, they all had big trucks. They all have to drive their separate cars. Anyways, it was a cool entrance, but it's kind of like, do they always park that way? It's a weird way to park, wasn't it? With Jericho
just
kind
of
in
in
front.
Cool, I think.
You know, it was weird, right? Yeah, I mean, it looked kind of cool, but it was strange. And then we had a match to start the show. It was Hangman Page beating Max Caster with the pinfall after the buckshot lariat. Caster hit Hangman with a punch with chains. He had, like, chains in his hand. and that was a near fall. The partner there, whatever, the other guy, Caster's partner in the Acclaimed. John, do you know his name?
Doesn't come to mind right now. He's been off television for too long.
He's the other John Cena guy in the team.
Boombox guy.
Yeah, Boombox guy. The Boombox. Hangman, the guy who doesn't rap, right? There's the guy who raps, that's Max Caster, and then there's the guy who just yells afterwards. That's the other guy in the Acclaimed, and they're not important enough for me to know both of their names. I mean, as Jericho stated tonight, he doesn't even know the FTR's names individually, right? So how are we supposed to know the Acclaimed? I don't know the FTR names either. That shit was funny.
Neither do I. I get it's like Axe or something.
I do.
Dax and
Smash.
It's
Dax Harwood and Cash Wheeler.
There it is.
Yeah, but which one's which?
Dax is the bald guy and Cash is the other guy.
Oh. Well, John knows, but I didn't even really know which one was which. I knew that one was Dax and one was Cash, but I only know their AEW names. What were their WWE names?
Oh, yeah, I completely forgot what the Revival names were.
And what, like, I never knew. It was like Bald Revival and Other Revival. That's what I would call them. I never knew their names. I never cared to learn their names. They were just the Revival guys, and there's one Revival guy taking this move and then the other Revival guy. And now they have names, and John knows them, but it's like Dax and Smash, and one of them's Dax, and one of them's Smash, and whatever.
Dax and Smash.
I mean, whatever, yeah. Right? Doesn't matter. Hangman beat Max Caster with the win there, buckshot lariat. And then Hangman goes into the crowd, gets a beer from the third row, and then starts kind of walking through the crowd, and then he gives a fan a beer. A fan. I mean, was it really a fan? It was a guy in a shirt, right? I mean, there's no way that guy was a fan. That guy was a plant.
Shirt.
Well, he was like, he was sitting by himself wearing like a button-down shirt and dress pants. That's a guy who's there for a job interview. That's not a guy who's there like, you know what I mean? Like, he's a wrestler, obviously. He had long hair, a dress shirt, and dress pants. You think Hangman just went to give him a beer because he thought he was cool looking? Like, come on, man. He was a plant. He was there for a job. It was, you know, what it was. The match was...
At first, I thought it was the guy who used to be... I completely forget his name, but he was tagged up with Hardcore Holly a long time ago.
Crash Holly?
What the hell was his name?
He's dead.
No, not Crash. It was the other one. It was... oh, my God. He almost looked like Al Snow a little bit. He had, like, long hair. He was from ECW, I believe.
Marty Jannetty?
No, not Jannetty. No. It'll pop into my head because I was fast-forwarding a little bit because I was trying to catch up. And then I had to stop. I'm like, oh, my God, that looks like him. Man, I don't know why it's Leaf. What they call him?
Al Snow.
Leaf something rather. No, it wasn't Al Snow.
Yeah, it was.
Well, Leaf Cassidy was Al Snow.
Yeah, you are correct. Yeah, but I'm trying. It's not him though. Maybe. Man, it's killing me. It's killing me. It's the other long-haired guy that was in WWE that kind of looked like Al Snow. He was skin. He was kind of like a cross between Al Snow and the Hurricane.
Stevie Richards.
Like, yes, Stevie Richards.
There you go.
There you go. I thought it was Stevie Richards.
I don't think they ever teamed with Bob Holly, though.
I don't remember them teaming ever. No, I don't think so.
You sure?
I think they wrestled each other on... They wrestled each other on ECW TV, on WWE's ECW. They definitely had a little match or two there. I don't remember them teaming. But I like how you said
I'm pretty sure he paired up with him at some point.
What did you compare Stevie Richards to? A cross between
Al Snow and the Hurricane.
And somehow I hit Stevie Richards right on the nose, which is kind of weird.
There you go. We should do these categories or whatever the fuck that painting shit is or whatever.
We should.
Yeah. Game night with Johnny. You down, Johnny?
Well, Dave's the mastermind here. I'm just the pawn in all this.
Okay, yeah, I'm down. Johnny is down. Johnny is the pawn.
Yeah, for sure.
All right. And then we have Tony Schiavone introducing Death Triangle to the ring. And Schiavone tells them that they're going to get their tag team title shot next week. I like that Schiavone has that information and they seem unaware of it. And then Orange Cassidy, the Best Friends, and Statlander come out. And Orange is like, oh, it's nice to see you all in a ring again. And then they show clips of Death Triangle assaulting Orange a few times in the past because they had to show that on the screen. I did not remember that Death Triangle had beat up Orange Cassidy prior. John, did you remember that? It was like a year ago, right?
Yeah, I remember it, though, because like Death Triangle didn't really last that long when you think about it because COVID happened, right? So we didn't see Pac for a while. So when they were actually together, they had limited moments. So that was one of their few moments. And it's one of those storylines that never got finished because of COVID. So now they can actually do something again.
I guess. I don't know. It's not something that I'm super hyped about, but the promo was okay. Chuck says, we still remember what you did, and then Penta and Phoenix kind of laughed at them. And then Pac says, okay, I understand what's going on. You want a shot at the next AEW Tag Team Champions, but you're not really worthy. And then Trent's like, okay, I know we're not like number one contenders, but we have more wins than anybody else in AEW as a tag team. And the boys are back in town. And, we have an alien with us now, too, which I thought was a good line. It did seem like a few people tonight, the best friend team and Britt Baker, they were kind of resetting. They're like, okay, we want the title shot. And it wasn't, and Lance Archer did it too, right? A few people reset tonight in promos. Like, the best friends came out and they're like, we are here. We are a tag team. We recognize that we are not the number one contenders because of our win-loss record. But we would like a tag team title shot in the future, and we intend to be challengers coming up. Britt Baker did the same thing. She cut a promo basically saying that tonight. I liked her promo, though. She said it shouldn't be about win-loss records. Tony Khan should give the people what they want, which is her in a title match, because wins and losses don't really matter, and what should really matter for title shots is T-shirt sales, star power, and key demos in the ratings, which, Britt is delivering on, which historically in pro wrestling, that is how you get title shots. You get pushed up the card based on how much money you're drawing, not based on how many wins and losses you've accumulated because of the matches you've been booked in. Nevertheless, Britt says she's going to be getting her wins up on Dark and Elevation and Dynamite. So Britt kind of did a thing where she's like, I know I'm not number one contender. I know I'm not going to get a title shot because of the way things work in AEW, but you just wait and see over the next few weeks. I'm going to get a bunch of wins, and I will be a title contender. They did that a few times, right? Archer did it too. It's weird.
Yeah, they did it a couple of times, but like Britt, it's kind of a different situation where, if I'm not mistaken, like the best friend said, like, oh, we're not number one contenders, but we still want to wrestle you guys. That's pretty much what I got from that. Where Britt's like, yeah, I'm not number one contender, and I'll actually play the game, and I'll actually like work my way up, and you'll see me in all these shows. That was pretty much like an advertisement to say like, oh, I'm going to be all these shows, and I'll be back, kind of thing, because she's not getting the next shot. I mean, it makes more sense that Ty Conti's getting the shot because they've actually been building her week in, week out, and she's been having pretty good matches. Like, that's the match really to go with first.
Wasn't Sheeta in her corner tonight?
Yeah, it's kind of ridiculous because they're both faces, right? I guess it's just they put Sheeta on television because, like, she's not doing anything. She's the most uninteresting champion.
Yeah, that's why she shouldn't be champion. But she is and has been for quite some time. I know what you're saying about the best friends, but they were also kind of saying, like, we're going to reset here and we're going to get wins and we're going to challenge for the belts. Because there was talk about the titles in that promo too, right? But I do think that they're going to have some sort of six-man tag, best friends, Orange against the Death Triangle at some point down the road. Not next week, though, because the Death Triangle, or at least Pac and Phoenix, are going to get their tag team title shots against the Bucks. You think they win? I mean, probably not, right?
I don't think they're going to win because after what happened with the Bucks, I don't expect some major title change. If it was the pay-per-view, maybe, but not on just the TV show.
Yeah, I don't see it either. Inner Circle promo, Jericho. Killer. He comes out with the Inner Circle, and I think he was performing for us, the viewers, but also for the guys in the ring with him. Jericho was like cracking up his guys, and you could see them popping for some lines, which added to the promo, right? Sammy Guevara laughing at some stuff. It was good. It was a little weird the way they started it off, though. They come to the ring, Jericho cuts a promo, he starts talking, and then they went to commercial. Did that happen for you guys too? What happened?
Yeah,
Yeah.
That was just bad editing. They were supposed to cut, I think, before, because I think what he was doing that promo for, he was doing it for the live audience only. But we got a little snippet of it. We weren't supposed to, I don't think.
Ah, okay. Well, it was weird. Anyways, we come back. The crowd is chanting Inner Circle, and Jericho starts his promo. He apologizes for insulting and hurting the people over the past few months and blames MJF. Even though, now this was the thing I didn't really like about it. It was like, they've been a heel group since the beginning of Dynamite. But now he's like, oh, guys, it's MJF's fault that we've been such dicks lately, right? Which didn't really make sense, but, whatever. They could set you up down the road for when they turn back, and it's like, ha, 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 we tricked you, right? But it was a little weird. And then Jericho talks about MJF and refers to him as my jerk-off friend, right? He kept doing that one. My jerk-off friend, MJF. He said that he planned to keep MJF in the Inner Circle. He wanted him in the group, not because he liked him, but he saw that he was a threat, and he wanted to keep him under his thumb. He wanted to keep an eye on him because, MJF says Jericho might not be that smart. Jericho isn't that smart. He failed chemistry, and the teacher thought he was smoking dope, but Jericho said he wasn't smoking dope. He just wasn't very good at chemistry, which I thought was funny. I was smoking dope in chemistry, and I was also not good at chemistry, which also led to me not doing good at chemistry. So I feel you, Jericho. I feel you, brother. And Jericho for sure was drinking or something. Anyways, Jericho says he might not be good at chemistry, but he's good at the psychology of pro wrestling. And he was working MJF, and he says, MJF, you don't know how to do things really that great. And your spray tan a few weeks ago was awful. It was all streaky. You looked a mess. And Jericho says, MJF, I was doing the scarf gimmick 5 years ago, and if you're better than me, why are you stealing my shit? Jericho telling MJF that he'll never be better than him, and he knows it. And then he just started ripping on everybody else. I mean, Jericho ripped into MJF pretty good. He MJF'd MJF. And that's what I really liked about this promo. He was just firing on all cylinders, hitting everybody, and I can't do it justice. You have to watch it. It was an all-time classic Chris Jericho promo. Just when you think, oh, maybe he's getting to a point where he's not the man Le Champion anymore, he comes out with a classic promo, ripping everybody and out MJFing MJF. He killed it tonight. Jericho then starts talking about all the other people in the Pinnacle group. He's like, Tully Blanchard, is he really this great wrestling mind? He's like a third-string member of the Four Horsemen, somewhere between Paul Roma and Ole Anderson. He says Jericho's like, I don't know which FTR guy is who's Axe, who's Smash, who's Marty, who's Jannetty. He doesn't know who any of these guys are. And then he's like, Sean Spears is supposed to have this huge upside. I've never seen it. And I was dying laughing at that because I feel like I've said that a bunch of times on the show. And he's like, making fun of Spears' stupid haircut. And he says, May 5th, it's going to be Pinnacle versus Inner Circle in a blood and guts match on Dynamite. So they're booking it well in advance. May 5th, the Pinnacle, MJF, Wardlow, FTR, and Sean Spears versus the Inner Circle, Jericho, Proud and Powerful, Hager, and Guevara. Killer promo from Jericho. Glenn, what was your favorite moment from this Jericho promo tonight? Like, was there a line that you're like, yes, this was the shit? It was such good stuff, right? So many good lines.
I like the 21, 21 toes or whatever it was, where he can't count. He has to get naked so he can count to 21.
Yeah, Wardlow. That's
a good one. He's like, think about it, guys. I've seen it before. And Hager was losing it. Hager's eyes were googling all over the place. The Jack Hager googly eye thing that he does. He's like, oh shit, this is so funny. But no, that was probably my favorite line of the night. Yeah, for sure.
That was
Jericho's
great
the
stuff.
best.
Johnny?
I think it was the wet dreams thing. Like he's talking about MJF. Like, oh, when I was 25, I was just having wet dreams. Here, you want to be the pinnacle of wrestling. I was like, wait a minute. Like, so Jericho, like, stop having wet dreams at 25? That seemed kind of weird that he said that, but It was interesting. It caught me by surprise that he said something like that. Like they let a lot slide too. I feel like they were trying to censor him at some points, but they didn't know when to censor him. I think they were worried he was going to say something, but I don't think he really crossed too many lines. But I don't know if you'll actually see that promo in its full version again on AEW, though.
I hope you do. I kind of want to talk about what you just said about wet dreams, but I feel like I should avoid it. Did you hear
there you go. You just want to avoid it.
They didn't get Blenouille in Calgary.
Glenn, did you catch that though? He said Jericho stopped having wet dreams at 25, and that was like an odd thing, right? Like I don't.
Yeah, well, yeah, for sure. I don't think I think I stopped having wet dreams when I was in my teens, man.
Right.
But once I started fucking, I was pretty good.
Yeah, well, John, I'm just trying to understand what you mean is like he stopped having them at 25. You're saying that that's old or young?
Well, I just picture it like he was in ECW at the time.
Right.
And if I'm not mistaken, he was dating a porn star at the time, if I'm not mistaken, too.
Yeah, so what's going on with Jericho? How horny is this guy?
Yeah, it's just like I'm trying to put the timeline together, you know, and it's like it's weird.
I thought you were like, oh, Jericho stopped having wet dreams at 25. What's the matter with him? I'm 35 years old and I've been having wet dreams. I had one last night. I thought that's what you were saying, and I was like, what? I was a little confused by the way you phrased it, but now I understand, and we're all good, and we can totally move on because we don't have to talk about it in any more depth. Thank you. But I thought Jericho was great. Yeah, but wasn't it kind of a weird line for Jericho to say, that wet dreams line? Because he's like, oh, when I was 25, I was having wet dreams, and you're in the pinnacle of wrestling. That's like a nice thing to say about MJF, isn't it? And like and Jericho's kind of putting himself down when, like you said, John, Jericho was like, 25 years old in ECW dating porn stars. Like, Jericho had it pretty good when he was 25. Why is he putting himself down? What was that?
I guess maybe the lifestyle was different. I guess, I don't know. Like, it was more crazier back then. And like, I'm not sure exactly.
There's a confusing line. And then Jericho had a couple.
This really took a turn for the worse here, guys. I got to be honest with you.
There was a couple confusing lines. At one point, he's like, we're going to take the Pinnacle and we're going to stick their heads up each other's asses and they're going to human centipede themselves. Like, he said that, right? At one point, Jericho?
Yeah.
And I was like, wait a second. Yeah. You're going to stick their heads.
MGF would be at the back.
Up each other's asses? The way he phrased it, it kind of sounded like they were going to take Pinnacle and stick them up their own asses. You know what I mean? Take their heads?
Yeah, but they were going to put MGF at the back, so he had to eat all the shit.
No, but it seemed like... Okay. I don't know. The way Jericho said it, I thought Jericho... I've never seen it. Ugh.
Oh, speaking of wet dreams, bro. You got to watch that.
Vile.
You want to get dark?
I'm thinking...
That is dark.
They did it in South Park where they had the human centipede, but it was very disgusting. That's the way I pictured it.
I don't want to talk about human centipedes anymore. I'm uncomfortable now. We're moving
Human
on.
Centipede 2 is way worse, man.
I've
when they
never
step on the baby's head when she's trying to get out. Like, she gives birth in the car.
No, that's horrible.
And then she's like trying to get away. And she's I don't want to.
The
baby comes out and she's trying to hit the gas pedal and crushes the baby's head.
That's
it's really
horrible. That's horrific.
I'm shocked.
Why do people make movies like that? Why do people make movies like that? That is some horrific stuff. People make gross movies.
I like horror movies, man.
I don't like horror movies. I really don't. I find them gross, stomach turning.
I love them, man.
I don't even like hearing them.
I got Sid up on my wall over there from 1,000 Corpses. Got
1,000 corpses
before he died. Yeah, House of 1,000 Corpses. Rob Zombie with Sid Haig. Rest in peace.
I know Rob Zombie.
About 2 years ago.
I don't know the other things you're talking about. I know about Rob Zombie.
Different show. I got to get on a horror show.
Oh, yeah.
Anybody's got a horror show out there, I'm available.
Jose Medina says Jericho called the viewers marks. He did, right? He said MJF. No. That's not exactly what he said. He said MJF always goes on social media to check how good he is. And he's like, in my world, we call those people marks. And he's like, MJF is a mark for himself. And we're just going to call him a Max for himself. Saying, trying to change the name from Mark to Max. But I don't think he was calling the viewers marks. I think Jericho was calling MJF a mark for looking on Twitter and seeing if people were complimenting him. And I thought that was a good line. I thought that was good stuff, calling MJF a mark for himself. Jericho, ethered MJF tonight. I don't know if you guys get that reference, but
Ethered.
Yeah,
I
Nas, he
find
did a
he
song.
emulated. Like,
Nas did a song about JayZ called Ether, and it was vicious. So Jericho kind of ethered in the hip-hop world, at least for a while. I don't know. I'm kind of old now. But for a while after that song, it's like when you shit on somebody and totally destroyed them, it's like, oh, you just got ethered. And
Really?
yeah, that's probably an old term, though, now, because I'm like an old man at this point. But when I was a young G, I'm an OG now. I'm OG status now, but back in my day, boys, we said you got ethered because Nas ethered JayZ in that song.
Really?
Yo, you never heard that song, Ether? Oh my God.
I'm sure I have. I'm a big hip hop fan, but I mean, I'm more.
Oh my God.
The original diss tracks from NWA and shit like
God
that.
sent across the belly. I prove you lost already. Oh shit, that was good. Oh,
which album is that off of?
Well, it was
Nasty
just
Nas.
a song. It was just a song, I think. And then JayZ
Illmatic?
came back.
Was it off Illmatic?
Because it was Takeover first. JayZ dropped Takeover, right? Takeover. The break's over. That shit was crazy. Don't be that next contestant on that Summer Jam screen. So JayZ did Takeover. That shit was fire. And it was like, oh, my God. And then Nas came back with Ether, and that shit was like, oh, fuck. And then JayZ did Super Ugly, and that shit was... I mean, JayZ's own mother had to call him and tell him to chill out because it was too much. He went too far. Me and the boy AI got a lot in common besides ballin' and rhyming. Get it? More in common. Carmen was Nas's baby's mother. That Allen Iverson and
Carmen
JayZ.
Electra.
No, just some woman named Carmen. I don't know. But Nas and JayZ
okay.
both. No. Nas had a child with her. JayZ and Allen Iverson had relations with her, and JayZ talked about it on Super Ugly, and it got super ugly. Woo!
Jesus.
Fire! That beef was serious. We're lucky nobody got hurt. Those guys were fucking.
Did you know about this, Johnny? Johnny seems. Were you involved in this at all? Johnny?
JayZ and Nas is like an all-time hip hop beef. That shit was classic. And it's still going on. Every time Nas drops a new album, JayZ drops on the same day, fucking with him constantly. Still to this day, he does this.
I had no idea.
Hope.
I'm a hip hop generation before you, so I was never really big into. I like Nas, but I was never really into JayZ too much.
Oh, I'm a big JayZ.
So I never followed it.
Big JayZ guy. I've seen him like.
I'm the Biggie Tupac era. Biggie Tupac.
That's it. See, JayZ kind of came after that, and he took over. Oh. JayZ took the Biggie's crown and like made it an empire, you know? Oh, yeah. JayZ. I've seen that guy.
It's your boy.
3-4 times now. Tremendous. Every time. God, I love that guy. We love you, Hope.
What about you, Johnny? Who's your favorite rap group of all time? Poor Johnny.
Oh, JayZ's for sure my favorite rapper ever. Johnny, who's your favorite rapper? Do you have one? Is it Insane Clown Posse?
Oh, no.
Yeah, it is. You know that.
It is.
No, it is not. Is Johnny a juggalo?
Yeah. Oh, for
you
sure.
You are not a juggalo.
A little bit, yeah.
For sure he is.
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh, Johnny.
The Great Malenko, man. It's such a great song. Like,
he's probably drinking Fuego or whatever it's called next to him or something. Oh, God, Johnny. Well, I guess because of the wrestling aspect. Is that why?
100%.
Because of the wrestling? Okay, so
there's so much wrestling in their lyrics. I don't know if you've heard their songs, but so much wrestling.
I try not to. Johnny. Also,
they wrestle.
I'm not a juggalo.
That's too bad. They wrestled on Nitro like many times.
Yeah, and
I used to watch
Raw
him. I used
too.
to watch him.
Yeah, I mean they wrestled, but like so did Kevin Federline.
I watched all their documentaries too. I watch everything from their. What's their festival called again? A huge festival. That
Juggalo Fest, isn't it called? Juggalo Fest or something? What's it called? Yeah, the Insane Clown Posse.
Whoop whoop.
Right. Don't they have like a
got him with
thing.
the whoop whoop?
Yeah. They got like
what's the name of their festival?
Insane Clown Posse Festival.
Yeah, I watch the documentaries on those all the time. I watch it
Gathering of the Juggalos.
The Gathering of the Juggalos.
Yes, I've heard those things are frightening. Holy shit! What happened?
And they got the wrestling events, and they were throwing piss or something at. I forget, some girl went to perform there or something, and they were throwing all kinds of shit at her.
Yeah.
What was it?
Yeah, it's a gross place. You hear a lot of weird stuff about those Juggalos.
Yeah,
those Juggalos are kind of fucked, eh? I mean, I'll respect
they can
them.
be
kind of fucked. It's goddamn
they can be nice
Juggalos.
though too. There's nice ones as well.
They seem a little messed up. I don't know.
There's supposed to be no fighting at those things. There's supposed to be no fighting. Well, what's going on?
Oh, Jesus Christ.
You
Sorry.
probably saw
What's going
something that you regret.
Sorry. I just saw Demetrius Johnson get knocked unconscious. Whoa. Demetrius got stopped tonight, 1FC. Unconscious. He's unconscious.
Oh, is that tonight too? Man, there's so much going on TV.
Yo, Demetrius Johnson.
Won the hockey game.
I don't know.
I didn't even see what happened.
But
You're watching hockey.
Demetrius Johnson just lost his title. He just lost his flyweight title to Adriano Moraes, who knocked him unconscious in the second round on 1FC tonight. It was on after Dynamite on TNT, not on after Dynamite on TSN. Thanks a lot, Canada. And Eddie Alvarez lost because he did illegal punches. He got disqualified. I got to see what happened there. But he lost to Yuri Lapicus due to illegal punches. And then Demetrius Johnson, Mighty Mouse, just got knocked out. And, like, that's a big deal, man. Mighty Mouse hasn't lost since he lost that split decision to Henry Cejudo in 2018. He'd won 3 straight in 1FC. Mighty Mouse has never been finished. This is the first time anybody ever finished Mighty Mouse. This guy's a beast. 34 years old, though. He's been in the game for a long time.
He hasn't fought, no.
No, he's been
fought in a while.
Yeah, he didn't fight. I guess he took all of last year off. His last fight was October 2019.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
October 2019.
I didn't see him at any point during COVID.
Super chat. No. Super chat. Well, it's tough, right? Because
what is a super chat? What is that? What's super chat?
Thank you, Patrick. He says, I guess AEW wasn't interesting tonight. No, it was. It was. I just got caught up in that Demetrius Johnson stuff because he's a big deal in MMA. 35 professional fights. This is his first time in 35 pro fights where he's been stopped. And he's only lost 4 times, you know? So this is a big deal tonight for DJ to go down. I'm a big fan of Demetrius Johnson. I've never seen a guy shadow box like him. For my money, he's like the best skilled fighter I've ever seen in the UFC. Incredible. Like, pound for pound skills. Remember that shit when he lifted the guy up and in the air transitioned to the armbar and on the way down slapped it in, and then once they were down, the armbar's in? Like, that shit was crazy.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Amazing. To do that
you can't even really drill that. I tried drilling that. I tried drilling that, and it's really hard to drill, man. It's not. That's incredible. That's absolutely incredible to do that.
He's one of the most skilled all-around guys I've ever seen. So respect.
It's like doing
DJ.
A suplex to a flying armbar. That's literally what he's doing.
That's what he did. That's what he did.
I know.
And in a championship fight, in the UFC at the highest level, like he is amazing.
That's how much he drilled that move. That's crazy.
All respect to Demetrius Mighty Mouse Johnson losing tonight. Anyways, let's get back to AEW.
Yeah, poor guys. We're talking about swollen members down there.
Are they talking about swollen members? We're talking about
swollen
rappers.
Members. Swollen members gonna make you hot.
Swollen Members is the only rap show I ever walked out of.
Really?
Yo, I had free tickets to Swollen Members. I went with my buddy. We went. We stayed for like a song. I think Mocha Only was opening up. He was terrible. And then Swollen Members started, and I was like, these guys suck. And I left. We left during the show. It was awful. Swollen Members. Fuck out of here. Man, see, Canadian hip-hop was
not a good week for rap, guys.
Canadian hip-hop was the drizzling shits until Drake came around, all right? Drake saved Canadian rap, and all you fucking Canadian people that don't like Drake can fucking suck it. I don't care. You never seen a Canadian that big in the rap game ever in your life. Ever in your life, and it'll probably never happen again. Who was the biggest rapper from Canada before Drake? Fucking Snow? Fucking Cardinal? You know, Choclair? Like, who was really big from Canada? Like, Drake fucking took it to another level. And now a bunch of Canadians
let your backbone slide. Let your backbone
Maestro
slide.
Fresh West?
Maestro Fresh West.
Yo, I know Canadian hip-hop. Yeah, but he not like Drake. Like, Drake is like the biggest rapper in the game. He could have been like
Drake.
Maestro Fresh West could not have been like Drake. He was nowhere near Drake.
There was no social media at the time. It was harder back then.
Oh, my God. Oh, my God. All right, let's get to other Canadians that we care about. Christian Cage, he's being interviewed backstage. Taz shows up, offers him a membership in Team Taz. Christian's like, I don't know. And Taz is like, just think about it, bro. Just think about it. So, yeah. I don't think Christian joins Team Taz. You guys think Christian joins Team Taz or starts a program with Ricky Starks? Because I think Christian and Ricky Starks could have some incredible matches. Please give me that program. Christian versus Ricky Starks, or at least one match. I think those guys would be really good together. Ricky Starks kind of reminds me of Christian in many different ways. You know, body type, wrestling style. They're similar. I think they'd have a kick-ass match. John? Starks, Cage? Yeah? Not Brian Cage, Christian Cage. Do you think Brian Cage is going to reveal himself as Christian's son?
I don't think so. I feel like they're pretty close in age. I mean, maybe brothers possibly, but that's about it. Like, I think Christian's probably going to feud with Team Taz. He's probably going to wrestle all of them. And it should be some good matches. Like, it's a fresh match, too, for Christian. That's what's kind of interesting about Christian's run here in AEW. You're going to see him wrestle a lot of guys he's never wrestled before, so it'll be interesting to see what they can pull off. For Ricky Starks, that's something great to have. I mean, he's a young talent, and to wrestle a veteran like Christian, that's going to help him a lot.
Christian Cage is 47. Brian Cage is 37. It would be impossible for Christian to be his dad, unfortunately. It would be a fun angle, though. I mean, they could just say that he's his dad and, like, forget age and time. What does that matter, right? Who cares? Let's just pretend. Or
like Vince McMahon and Hornswoggle.
I mean, they've got to address it, right? Like, yeah. They've got to address it because they have the same last name, and now Taz wants Christian in his team. They've got to address the fact that they have the same last name, right? They got to say something. It could be in a joking way. It could be on BTE, but, you know, they got to do something. Christian feuding with a bunch of Team Taz guys, I guess. But isn't Team Taz feuding with themselves? This is what I don't understand about this group. Are Brian Cage and Ricky Starks getting along or not? I don't watch Dark Elevation, John. You got to tell me.
Oh, there's just hints that there's issues, but for the most part, they get along. And that's exactly what you saw in the promo. There's hints that there's problems, but on the surface, they decide that everything's okay for now.
I don't know. I hate this stuff where they delay it because you know it's going to come. It's just like, do it. Why tease it if you're not going to do it? Why tease a team not really sticking together if eventually they're just going to break up anyways? Like, why tease it for this long? What's the point?
Well, they might still stay together. I mean, this could just be a swerve in that case where you think they're going to break up, but they don't actually break up. Yeah. I think it's just the case that it just gives them something to do because there's not much for them going on. So they need a little extra story, and that's the story they get. All
right. I'm willing to accept that. I'll tell you what I'm not willing to accept. Any more matches between Jungle Boy, Luchasaurus, and the Bear Country. That was the drizzling shits. That was fucking awful. That was an embarrassment to professional wrestling. That looked like a bunch of guys in there trying to do all the shit they could come up with and some other shit that they've never tried before, but fuck it, it's the biggest match of our lives. They're promoting it as King Kong versus fucking Godzilla, so let's go for the gusto. We're Bear Country. We don't know what the fuck we're doing. We're green as goose shit. Let's jump on each other's backs and flip on Luchasaurus in the corner and hope we don't break both of his fucking legs. Are you fucking kidding me? When they had Jungle Boy in that powerbomb position, and then Luchasaurus comes off the second rope, and it looks like the bear guy, one of the bear guys, because I don't know their names, because who gives a fuck, right? One of the bear guys was going to try and catch him in like a power slam position while he had Jungle Boy up. He was going to catch Luchasaurus coming off the second rope and hold them both and then do like a double drop thing. But it fucking failed miserably. Luchasaurus, like, kind of does a thing. Commentary's like, oh, he tried to do a crossbody, but the bear is too strong. And then Luchasaurus just kind of crumples in the ring and rolls out of the ring, and he didn't even go back on the apron. He just kind of walked away into the crowd in utter shame and disgust with himself for making a mockery out of pro wrestling once again. Every time I see Luchasaurus, I like him that much less. He is fucking awkward, man. He botches way too much to be a TV wrestler. He's fucking awkward. Are you kidding me? And then his finish is a choke slam and then a standing moonsault. Bitch, finish with the choke slam, you silly fuck. You don't have to do all this flippy shit just because you can. The choke slam would have been more impactful, but you got to do a standing moonsault because you can. Just because you can doesn't mean you fucking should. That is Luchasaurus to a T. Just because you can doesn't mean you should. because sometimes when you do it, it looks fucking awkward, dude. Your feet are all over the place. You're falling over the place. You can't have a match without a clear, obvious, Botchamania Hall of Fame level fuck up. You can't have a wrestling match without fucking up in some major, major way. You're doing too much. Try less. Get the basics down. Figure out how to be a solid professional wrestler before you figure out how to be a great professional wrestler. Because right now, Luchasaurus and the Bear Countries, Jungle Boy's exempt from this, okay? Jungle Boy's cool. He did good tonight. He didn't do anything egregious. The fucking Bear Country and Luchasaurus.
Egregious.
That's right. They look like, I use big words, brother. They use fucking moves that made them look amateur on a supposed to be primetime A-level professional wrestling show. These guys looked like indie wrestlers who were too green for the moves that they came up with, hadn't practiced them, didn't know what the fuck they were doing, and that's what the match was. A fucking mess. 2 thumbs way down. Worst match of the night. I wanted to like Bear Country. I used to like Luchasaurus, but like every time you see him work, if you really pay attention, it's terrible. John, you're a wrestler. What do you think about Luchasaurus?
Well, you kind of said it. He tries too much on some things, and like some things turn out pretty good. Looks pretty spectacular what he can do for a guy his size. But when it does go awry, it looks really bad. So, you know, he's got to cut down on like doing too much high risk. I think that's the problem. Is just he's trying too much. Like you said, I think if he just cuts down, does things that he knows for the most part, 9 on 10, he's going to hit it. Just do that kind of stuff. I also like find that crossbody thing. That's not completely on his fault. Like he was a little too far. The guy was a little, too far away from him. So, and
That
also
guy's
like the idea of
stupid.
even doing that.
Yes! It's a stupid idea.
But that's their spot. That's what they like to do. And I'm sure, like, yeah, it would have been cool if he pulled it off. But, like, you got to compensate for the fact that, that's a huge guy. He's got to be a lot closer. I know that he tries to act too much like a cruiserweight Luchasaurus. That's the problem. Like I know he can pull off some cool moves, but he tries a little too much.
They could not have pulled
Anyways,
off.
you understand.
Mark Henry, in his prime, doesn't pull that shit off. Big Show doesn't pull that shit off.
Well,
you're going to get the Bear Country guy. Wrestlers. Yeah, no, okay, but big fucking guy. Strong. John Cena, okay? One of the strongest guys in the history of the business. This guy pulled off power moves, brother. John Cena, the goddamn hero. He couldn't have done this. Superman himself, John Cena, could not have done this. This was not a move that's possible. How the fuck do you have a guy up on a power? I've never even seen it pulled off in wrestling. Have you? Where you have a guy up on a power bomb and then you catch the other guy in a power slam, but to a guy as big as Luchasaurus? Like, to 2 cruiserweights, fine. If that's Jungle Boy and Marco Stunt jumping off the second rope, sure, you pull that off. But to Luchasaurus, it didn't seem physically possible.
It would have been more possible if he had a better shot at it, where he's closer. Like the impact wouldn't have been as difficult. Like Luchasaurus isn't reaching for it. Just the odds were completely against you in that instance. But that's high risk. It's going to happen like that. And now you're seeing why I didn't think this was a very good show. You start off 2 matches; they weren't very good to start the show.
No, but it picked up. That match was horrible, though. Horrible. Like,
what was on their masks? What was that thing on Bear Country? I was that something to do with the King Kong thing or something? Like, because it was a face.
No, it's bears.
They had somebody's face. It was bears.
No, that was monkeys tonight. It was gorillas tonight. It wasn't bears.
Oh, was it monkeys? They changed it.
I think it was monkeys for King Kong. It was like King Kong, wasn't it? I don't know. Who cares? I never want to see them again after tonight. I really don't. I'm good.
I don't think they were that bad. I was expecting worse, to tell you the truth.
I think they were very bad. They were very bad. I am done with the Bear Country. And they're not even gay dudes. I wish they were 2 bears, 2 gay bears. I would love that so much. It would be so good for wrestling.
You never gave him a chance. Poor Bear Country.
I'm telling you, Bear Country, man.
You set him up for failure.
We need to bring more homosexual men into professional wrestling. If we could get a fraction of the RuPaul Drag Race crowd, we would be drawing massive ratings to every episode of Raw. You know what I mean? I'm telling you, there's not enough homosexual men watching professional wrestling. It is an untapped market. We have nothing but handsome dudes with muscles in Speedos. I mean, that's what wrestling is, right?
There's a lot of homosexual guys who watch
but
it.
not enough. Not enough. I'm telling you. They're watching RuPaul Drag Race. There's not enough gay dudes who watch pro wrestling. In pro wrestling audiences, they should be like a third, at least 20%, something. There should be more gay men watching professional wrestling. It would help the business. I'm telling you. They have disposable income, a lot of them. They love that RuPaul Drag Race show, and that show.
Disposable income.
They do. A lot of them do.
What is going on here? Come on.
It would help the business. I'm saying it would help the wrestling business if more guys would get into them, if they were better represented in the wrestling business, if the wrestling business was more inclusive to LGBTQ, people. I think that more people would tune in. AEW's got Sonny Kiss. They've got Nyla Rose. Why not have Bear Country be two big gay dudes? But, that's not what's going on.
I have to change the wrestling gear, though.
This is a shoot.
Have to be leather.
Like, I honestly think that there are not enough homosexual male wrestling fans because there's so much in pro wrestling that you would think that they would love, But, you just don't see a lot of those guys watching pro wrestling and being fans. Like, there are some for sure. There's always going to be a few. But I feel like it should be a bigger audience. And I think that if the wrestling business catered to them a little bit more, it would be good and they'd be making more money. We need to bring in as many people as we can to professional wrestling so that they could be watching this show and watching the wrestling shows and, bringing more money to the boys so that they can make more money. And, I just think that it's good to bring in as many people as you can be, as inclusive as you can be. So why not? Why not have two bears as a tag team? I think that would be a kick-ass idea, but hey, what are you going to do? What are you going to do, brother? Not everybody believes in my plans for the future of pro wrestling.
I'm in. I think it's a great
idea.
Right,
Glenn? You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
You got a friend who's on the Queer Eye, right? Don't you have a buddy who's like...
Actually, you know what? Yeah, Tony. He's on Queer Eye for the Straight Guy.
There you go.
Well, he goes under Anthony, but anyways, Anthony Porofsky, but we call him Tony.
Yeah. Is he a jiu-jitsu guy?
Oh no.
Okay.
I knew him when he was straight too. I always knew he was gay, and I remember the day he came out because out of my friends, I guess I'm the most manliest one. So he thought I'd be the one that had like the hardest trouble with it, which is completely the opposite. I really don't care.
Mm-hmm.
And I literally told him, he said like, Glenn, I'm gay, and I was like, yeah, no shit, Tony, pass the ketchup or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, exactly.
He used to wear an ascot out to dinner. I'm like, of course, dude.
Wow.
You're not fucking fooling anybody.
That doesn't mean anything. A lot of people wear ascots.
Trust me, it means something.
Some people are just fashionable, bro. Some people are fashionable, okay?
Not my friends.
Well, your friends are not fashionable, but that's a different thing.
Well, I guess now they are. But talking on the gay thing, right? My best friend from high school, who is like my main wrestling buddy friend, flaming gay.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. Came out of the closet when he was about 21. So I'm just saying, I think
they exist, but I'm saying, don't you think?
I just don't think they talk about it as much.
I feel like it should be bigger in the community because if you look at wrestling, if you turn on wrestling, most of the time it's like handsome dudes in Speedos, right? Like my buddy, a guy that I know, we're good friends. He's a homosexual dude. He saw a picture of Finn Balor one time, and he was like, whoa. Who is this guy? I need to know more. And I was like, yeah,
Isn't he gay? Is he gay?
No. Finn is married to a woman. He just...
Is he?
No,
what's
he's
with
just,
all the rainbow stuff? He just supports.
Yeah, he supports, which I think is very cool. And maybe he realized, like, hey, a lot of these guys, I think I'm their type, so maybe I should, Finn knows. Finn's trying to get that money, baby. Finn's just trying to get that money. And he realizes, hey, there's a whole audience here that no wrestler is catering to. Why don't I? I could be their dude, and they could like me or not, but hey, I'll make the money. It's just smart business. It's smart business, and it's also, good for the world. So I'm saying, it's an untapped market. Untapped. QT Marshall. I like this promo tonight. Is that weird?
Really?
I thought it was good. Talking about how he's doing the work for Cody, and Cody's trying to play it like he saved his career. QT's like, I got credentials, Cody. What about you? Playing second fiddle to Ted Jr., hiding behind face paint. And then you went to the work and you aligned yourself with... You went to the Indies and you aligned yourself with Can I say this? He said it, right? Vanilla
Yeah,
midgets?
Vanilla midgets.
Good God almighty.
Which was actually good. That was the best part of the entire
I mean, that
thing.
was, I was like, oh, did he say vanilla midget? Can you say that still? Shelton
I don't think
Benjamin
so.
was calling people crippled on Monday, and now we're saying vanilla midgets on Wednesday. Like, what happened to politically
Can't say midgets,
correct?
man. Midgets is...
Well, if you
gotta
say
be,
vanilla first, is that okay? I don't know.
Maybe they're going to think he's a rapper or something like that. Good old
I
vanilla
don't know.
midget. Love vanilla
Anyways,
midget, man.
so he's like,
Great hits.
yeah, you align yourself with vanilla midgets, and Marshall put his own group over. And I thought Anthony Ogogo came off really well. He started talking. He's like, I'm a household name in the UK, and this stupid, shitty America. I'm going to teach you
I don't
guys
agree with that at
who
all.
I am. I think it was kind of dumb to say shitty America next to 3 Americans. It's kind of weird to say that. But I liked his promo saying, you know, I'm in Subway commercials over there. Like, I'm a household name over there. And over here, like, you don't know me, but you're going to get to know me. I thought he did a good promo. Like, he can talk. He's got a look. I don't know if he can wrestle. But then the finish was weird. QT's like, it's my fucking factory. So they're at the Nightmare Factory, right? And then Camarado, who's there, he just has a bucket of blue paint that he throws on the wall.
He almost misses the logo.
Yeah, he basically did miss the logo.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, that promo was all right up until the end, because the end, it's weird. Like, that's your gym, QT. If you want to paint over Cody's logo, didn't you just make it way harder on yourself? Like, you have to, like, anybody knows if that has ever painted anything, like, don't you have to do like a base, like a white first, right? And then you got to do
You got to prime it, man.
Right,
It's
the
a
primer.
You got to put the primer. Yeah.
You don't just throw blue on top and then just paint the whole wall blue. That's not going to work. But this guy made it more difficult. So he's like, now blue on top of the logo, on top of the this, so you got a primer all over it's ridiculous. Ridiculous. But
And they
anyways,
lingered a little too long, too. I thought something else was going to happen.
Yeah.
Like when he threw the paint, it's like they lingered on it for like 10 seconds. Like, is he going to shoot another bucket to try to cover it this time? Or, yeah, it lasted a little too long there. It was a little weird.
It was weird. But I liked the promo. I thought QT did a good job. I thought Ogogo did a good job. You know, the other guys didn't say anything. That's okay. Camarado and Solo. But I thought the promo was good. John, you didn't like it?
I just felt like he's just reading a script, and it felt too obvious. Like, the content's good. It's just his delivery. It just felt very robotic in the way he was talking. I mean, maybe that's just the way he is. He's kind of void of charisma, and he doesn't really have a good talking voice, but that's just the way it sounded like to me. It's like, this sounds good, but why is it coming from QT Marshall? Is he really the best talker in the group? Like, if he is, I don't have a lot of faith in this group.
I didn't hate the delivery. Glenn, what'd you think of the promo?
I didn't think it was that great, to tell you the truth.
No?
I don't think a Go-Go or whatever his name was that great. I thought it was kind of cheesy, to tell you the truth. They're just throwing factions everywhere, man. I don't know. There's going to be like a faction Royal Rumble they're setting up for or something, but I don't know if you guys noticed. Every week, new faction of 5.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know there are 4, but it's like almost everybody, even the whatchamacallit, best friends, you know, now they're 4 with the girl, you know, but like, they're just throwing factions together everywhere. They're grouping everybody together. There's like almost no solo people.
It does kind of make sense, though, if you think about it. If you're a wrestler on AEW's roster, and wrestling is real, okay? And this is a shoot.
Mm-hmm.
And everybody seems to be ganging up. Don't you want to gang up, too? Don't you want to make a gang? Because, like, if everybody's ganging up and you're the only guy without a gang, you're going to find yourself like John Moxley did tonight, shit out of luck, getting your ass kicked with your fucking one-legged friend getting his ass kicked too. Right?
That's a good point.
So it does kind of make sense that they have so many factions. I am a big fan of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and like that's how it is. And they have massive factions over there, and it makes sense.
I think it just shows how green some of the guys are. Wrestling-wise, they're great, but on the mic, they're horrible. So they have to put him with some kind of a smoker on there, something to take over the mic duties.
But that
I think that's literally what's going on there.
It's
a lot
a
of
good
them would
idea.
just fizzle out.
That's a good idea, though, because then it keeps everybody relevant. You need somebody. If you know people can't talk, let somebody talk for them. If they can wrestle, let them wrestle.
Throw paint on the wall.
That's it. Yeah, have somebody to be your paint thrower.
Yeah.
Speaking of New Japan, Will Ospreay is their new world champion. Shout out to Will Ospreay, one of the best in the world. Finally on top of New Japan Pro Wrestling as the new IWGP Heavyweight Champion, beating Ibushi on the weekend. Man, Ospreay's good. People don't like him for some reason because of things that he's done. But in the ring, you can't really argue about Will Ospreay. The guy is magnificent. He might be the best in the world. Sting comes out. He's not the best in the world, but he's the Stinger, baby.
I fucking hates.
Yeah.
Why is he still there? It's horrible, man. Why is Jake still there? It's fucking painful. Anyways, go on. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to...
It's okay. Jake came out. He started talking. And then Archer came out, and he's like, let me talk. Shut up, guys. I'm sick of everybody in AEW. I'm sick of the agenda. He's like, I've been in main events, and then I go away, and then I fight Moxley, and then I go away. What's the deal? I should be in the main event, not Sting. And Sting's like, yeah, I agree with you, Archer. This is your time. And I don't understand why you're not in the main events all the time. And Jake, you need to help him channel his energy in the right direction. And then Sting just leaves. And Archer's like, okay. And then him and Jake leave too. And then Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky, they're a new tag team. They're in the crowd, in the stands, like up in the rafters or whatever. And they're like laughing at Archer or Sting or both.
I think they're laughing at the bad promo. It's fucking horrible.
Were they like the Muppet guys, Statler and Waldorf, the two old guys?
Statler and Waldorf. I'm impressed that you got that, man. That's one of I love those guys, man.
Oh yeah, I know it.
That's like one of my trivia things.
Oh, that's easy.
Is it on Disney Plus now? The Muppet Show?
I don't know. I know those guys without that. Those guys are classic. How do you not know those guys? I've seen the Disney. Was it Disney Live or Muppets Live something at Disney World? It's like Muppets. There was like a live show and they were there. There was like puppets there. It's very cool. It's very good. Anyways,
love the Muppets.
What the hell are we talking about? What were Paige and Scorpio doing there? Are they going to join up with Archer or attack Sting, or are they just not involved? And what's the deal with this promo? Like, it was okay, but it was just odd.
What was with the gerbil? He was talking about the gerbil going in Sting's ass, I think. That's what.
No, he was talking about Darby.
I'm pretty sure.
He was like, where's your gerbil?
Shut your hole.
He said that to Tony, wasn't he?
I don't know. But
I'm pretty sure if he was said that to Tony or Sting. Like, I thought he meant Darby, but it's like, is he talking to Tony? I'm not sure. I was a little confused, but Jake's that kind of way where Jake kind of rambles a little bit, and you're not sure what Jake's talking about sometimes.
Yeah, I have no idea what Jake's talking about.
It made no sense. I thought he was talking about shut your hole, like your asshole, and then he was talking about like the gerbil that goes in your asshole, like Lemmy Winks. You remember South Park, Mr. Lemmy Winks, The Adventures of Lemmy Winks?
I'm just a little confused by Jake's promos because he mumbles a lot. Like, he's really mumbly, and he like comes out and he's like, Sting, and I'm gonna tell you, shut your hole. He's really gravelly and hard to understand.
Yeah.
He's just nonsensical. I don't know. Jake is supposed to be there to do promos, but every time he talks, I'm like, what are you saying exactly? I don't really understand.
Oh, even Sting looked confused. Sting was like, what the hell are you going on about? Like, if you look at his face, Sting was like, someone like, is he drunk or something? Like, he had that look when Matt Hardy was in the ring when he was drunk. You know what I mean? Like, he actually had that look like this. Jeff Hardy, sorry. Well, one of the Hardys, whatever. But like, like he had that look. He had that look like someone fucking take over for this guy because this is ridiculous. Like,
yeah.
It's the same look.
Jake is not doing great lately. I've not seen anything from Jake recently in AEW that makes me want to see him more. And Archer and Jake, like, the team seems quite stale. I don't know. Maybe Archer just joins up with Sting and Darby and they do something there. I don't know.
He needs to be on his own. He's a big machine. Like, why is he paired up with Jake? Is he that bad on the mic? Like, it makes no sense. Like, Jake is actually holding him back more than anything. I think Jake kind of killed his character to a certain extent.
Yeah.
He should just be a war machine. He just comes out and destroy people. You know what I mean? Like, and now he's just kind of like, he has to walk behind Jake, who could barely take 2 steps. And
that's it.
He's holding him, and, it's a little weird.
He's a killer that has to take a back seat to this old man who can barely walk. It doesn't really make sense.
His drunk dad or something.
He seems like his caretaker more than anything. He doesn't seem like Jake is helping him in any kind of way. Jake doesn't seem dangerous anymore. Archer just seems like he's hanging out with this old guy who needs his help to walk to the ring. Yeah, it doesn't make Archer look good. The Jake-Archer combo is not great. So I don't know how they get their way out of it. But I like Archer in the ring. I think he's really good. But the promos, like you saw tonight, Not great, not super fun.
It's one of the worst ones I've seen. It's horrible. It's brutal.
Yeah, I don't know. I like Archer in the ring, though. Some of these guys I like in the ring, on the mic, not so much. Darby Allin, in the ring, fantastic. On the mic, yeah. But his match tonight, I thought was match of the night. I like this JD Drake guy. He thought he was pretty good. I didn't know much about him. I didn't really see him before. Dolph Ziggler's brother, Nemeth, what's his name? Ryan Nemeth was ringside. Sting kind of walked him away from the ring, kind of chased him away.
Is that Dolph Ziggler's brother?
Yeah.
Really? Yep. Oh, that's what, because they look so much alike.
Yeah, that's right.
Crazy. Okay,
yeah.
That makes sense. Yeah, because I was always thinking that. I'm like, he looks like a Ziggler, like they're trying to like completely copy his character or something. So that makes complete sense. There you go.
Nick Nemeth is Dolph Ziggler. That's his brother Ryan Nemeth. They're using his shoot name on TV. I thought this match was really good, Darby Allin and JD Drake. I thought this was kick-ass. I was really impressed with JD Drake. Match of the night for me. John, was this your match of the night?
Oh yeah, but by far. Like the only problem I had with it was I thought Drake's outfit seemed kind of cheap. Like if you're on TV, you can have a better outfit than that. But I mean, it's his first time out, so maybe they haven't given him enough checks yet to buy a new outfit. But
yeah.
Besides that, his wrestling is pretty good. And, Darby Allin, one of the best guys they have in AEW.
Yes, he is fantastic. He is one of the best wrestlers. Every single week he delivers. He's so goddamn good. He takes risks. He gives it 100% every time he's out there. You could tell. He's really, really good. And JD Drake was right up there with him. I didn't really know much about JD Drake. But, I agree with you. I actually looked at the guy and I thought, with a mask on and a little bit of a better outfit, he could be like a Vader-style wrestler, because the face doesn't match the wrestling style. The face is kind of like, but the wrestling style is more like, badass. I think a mask or something would work for him. I don't know. He's good, though. Maybe a better outfit. John, you might be right. In pro wrestling, sometimes you got to spend money to make money, right? You got to spend money on some nice gear to make money. Because it pays off.
His was terrible.
Yeah, he didn't.
He looked like Bastion Booger. Remember Bastion Booger?
But I think
that's
kind
that
of
little overall look.
It's kind of his gimmick. He's like schlubby, right? He's like kind of tubby and like he doesn't look good. But I feel like he could be more intimidating with a more intimidating gear. With more.
You should put him with
the
bear crew there.
No. Keep him away from those guys because I like JD Drake. Keep him with Ryan Nemeth if you want. I like both of those guys. The Bear guys I did like up until tonight. Maybe it's Luchasaurus' fault. I could easily blame Luchasaurus. He's fucking awful.
I like Luchasaurus.
Oh
Luchasaurus.
my God.
He's got to go with the Lucha Bros. Put him in with that Death Triangle.
Ugh.
Call it the Death Square.
He ruins everybody.
Boy.
He ruins everybody he's with. Even like Marco Stunt is better off without Luchasaurus. All right.
Oh, stop! Come on, stop. He's a big dude. he's really big, man.
Marco Stunt is tiny, but at least he doesn't fuck everything up that he does. Like Marco Stunt, at least he's not intimidating at all. He's tiny, but he pulls off all the moves that he hits. Luchasaurus, every single match he has, he fucks something up. Not in a minor way where, you have to be really astute to pay attention and you need to know all the ins and outs. He fucks up in a way where any person watching would be like, ugh, what happened there? Wrestling is
I think
fake.
It's because of I think it's because of his team. He has to try to fit in and blend a little too much with the way that they wrestle. And he can't really wrestle his style. That's why
he shouldn't, though. They can do the flips. They can do the flips. He should do the power. It's like not fucking rocket science, man.
He's got a solid backflip, though.
People have been doing the big man, little man tag team forever. Little man is the speed. Big man is the fucking big man. It's like fucking Bret Hart said, you got the Ferrari and the Mack truck. Him and Anvil. Bret was the Ferrari. Anvil was the Mack truck. Bret did the fancy shit. Anvil did the power shit. Anvil was the backup, right? You need Luchasaurus to be big and powerful and intimidating against Bear Country because they're way bigger than Jungle Boy and it almost looks like Jungle Boy can't stand in the ring with them because they're so much bigger. So Luchasaurus has to be the big power guy, not the guy who hits a choke slam, then a moonsault. Just hit the motherfucking choke slam. It's fucking simple. It's real. Like, he's got the parts. He just tries to do too much because he's like, look what I can do, guys. I can do a backflip too. If everybody can do a backflip, do you really think your backflip makes you special? Lance Archer does a backflip off the top rope. He climbs the thing, he does the old school like Undertaker, and then he does a backflip off the top rope every time he wrestles. Lance Archer's bigger than you, Luchasaurus. Do you think I give a fuck that you can do a backflip? Lance Archer can do one too. Pretty much every big man in the business can do a backflip now. Brock Lesnar did a fucking shooting star press. I don't give a fuck. I don't care.
He almost broke it. He almost broke his neck.
Yeah, I mean, he's pulled it off.
I think he did break his neck, actually.
No, he did. He fucked himself up majorly. I mean, he's pulled it off before. You know, he actually had hit it earlier in his career, but that's not the point. He shouldn't have done it. It's not the move that makes him famous. Brock could probably do it, right? But he doesn't need to. He hits you with the F5, he punches you in the face, and that's all he needs to do. He's intimidating. It's crazy. It's crazy. Like, Big Show and Kane can mat wrestle. I've seen Big Show and Kane wrestle each other on SmackDown, and they were like chain wrestling, like two cruiserweights, right, with each other. And it was kind of cool because, like, oh, you never see them do that. Because they don't need to. They needed to against each other because, like, how are two big, powerful guys going to outpower the other, right? They're too powerful. Let's try to outmaneuver. So it made sense. But you don't see Big Show trying to go hold for hold with, like, a Daniel Bryan. Why would he do that? He could just outpower him. Why would Luchasaurus do fucking backflips?
Hard on poor Luchasaurus.
No. John, am I right about this?
Put him in a faction with Bear Country.
Am I being too hard?
Well, like, you're not wrong, but I mean, the fact that we're bringing this up twice, I don't think it needed to be mentioned twice. So yeah, you're coming off a bit hard because, like,
Glenn
you
brought
up this point. Now you're kind of
Don't throw me under the
reiterating
bus.
your same point.
Glenn brought it back. It's Glenn's fault.
I did.
He talked about He talked about Luchasaurus and Bear Country and stuff.
I'm just a pawn here, guys. I'm just a pawn.
That's right. You're just here to get me more angry.
Rally up.
So I thought that match was really good. Darby and JD Drake. Darby wins with the coffin drop. Butcher, Blade, Matt Hardy come out to attack Darby after the match. Dark Order shows up to run them off. Sting reemerged. And then the Bunny was there. Not Bad Bunny, just Bunny. And she was alone. I guess Matt Hardy and his team kind of abandoned her ringside. They forgot about her when they were run off by the Dark Order. And Ty Conti attacked her. They're going to have a match later on that night. Tonight we saw them wrestle. It was Ty Conti over the Bunny with the pinfall. A superplex into a hammerlock DDT. Like, again.
It's a good DDT.
Yeah,
It
but
was the DD tie.
like, the
They call it,
superplex
right?
seemed impactful enough. Did you need the hammerlock DDT?
The greatest part of that match was the pin. Did you see her kind of lean back there? Oh my goodness. I don't know. She's got a great little bunda.
Take it easy.
I don't want to sound like one of those guys, but that was the highlight of the match for me.
John, what did you think about the superplex into the hammerlock? Because I ignored Glenn's comment.
I didn't really have a problem with it because, I mean, they like to put over the finisher a lot, so they're trying to push that huge right now. And it's like, well, if you're going to beat her, you know, superplex and then into the finish, like, that should be it, right? So I get it. And they push Bunny, like, for whatever reason, they push her that, like, she was a serious threat. Like, throughout that match, it seemed like a true struggle for Ty to get any offense in whatsoever. So it seemed like she had to go to that length to beat her. So for the story, it made sense. It's just, you know, maybe the way you see it and I see it, like, I don't see Bunny as that much of a threat for Ty. To me, it shouldn't have been so, like, close, that match. To me, it's more like one-sided. Ty should have had the advantage, but for whatever reason, they made Bunny seem like she was a legit challenger.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's okay. I didn't really hate the fact that Bunny and Conti had a close match. I just feel like superplex into the hammerlock DDT was like overkill, and I didn't really understand why everybody was involved. Like, Ty Conti, I guess, is in Dark Order now, and the Bunny is with Matt Hardy's team, so they're doing their thing. But what the hell is Shida doing there? Why is Hikaru Shida, the women's champion, there in Conti's corner?
Well, they had to put her on the show in some capacity. Mainly why you see like the Dark Order there. They just had to put them because they didn't have another spot on the show. So that was just an easy way to put them on the show somehow, some way. And like Ty's the number one contender, so you want to keep Shida around. The whole like, well, they're gonna face each other one day, but they're friends right now for now. So that was just to kind of push that, I think. And there was history with Bunny because Bunny was in the tag match against them last week.
How is Ty the number one contender?
Well, she's won more matches than anyone else, and like they said it when she beat Nyla Rose, that made her the number one contender, like a couple weeks ago.
Okay.
She wrestles every week, like on Dark or Elevation, so it makes sense that she's number one contender.
I don't know. I just see Britt Baker as not, she's not the number one contender for some reason. There's a couple other people I figured would be higher up on the list than Ty Conti, but whatever. And does anyone care to watch her wrestle Shida? This is the problem with Shida. It's not, people don't care about her. I don't know if there's an opponent you could find that people would want to see wrestle Shida right now.
Oh, I think people want to see Ty win the title. I want to see it. I think she'd be a better champion.
Does she speak English? Can we get a champion that speaks English? On this American wrestling show.
Shida, that's for sure.
It's an American wrestling show. They haven't had a women's champion that speaks English.
She speaks English, so I think I remember from when she was over in NXT. She did a couple of promos.
Yeah, she does.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Brazilians usually
and you don't need that.
English. Yeah.
Like Nyla Rose, like she was champ, like one of the longest champions. I think her English is pretty good.
Oh, shout out to JR, just retweeted me. Shout out to Jim Ross, my main man. My boy.
What do you do again this time?
Nothing. I just helped him out. No, I'm just helping out JR, brother. Me and JR are tight, JR follows me. I follow him.
You bought some mustard.
I didn't buy mustard. JR just tweeted something weird.
Is he selling mustard or something?
I'll show you what happened tonight. So there's JR.
Mustard's great, man.
Here, there it is. That's it.
I'll put over JR's mustard.
See, JR just retweeted me, and he loves me. Yeah, JR's main event mustard is fantastic. This is a pro Jim Ross show. I will never say anything negative about JR on this show. He is a hero. He is one of my inspirations. He is a goddamn living legend. He is the greatest broadcaster in the history of the wrestling business. And I know a lot of people, from time to time will take shots at JR. You will never, ever hear me take shots at JR because JR is my man. I love JR, okay?
Okay, we need context here. What the heck is the...
Oh, he follows...
That's it.
He follows me on Twitter. I mean, that's enough, isn't it? He's a wrestling legend that follows me on Twitter. But here's the... So, JR tweeted this, "Visit Jay." And I was like, what? Why was this a tweet? And people are like, what is this? Visit Jay. And he tweeted this during Dynamite tonight. So I decided to finish his tweet for him to help him out. arsbarbecue.com. Because that's his barbecue restaurant, right? So he wrote "Visit Jay," and I'm like, here, let me help you, JR. arsbarbecue.com. I think that's what you mean. And then JR, confirming that I was correct, pal. Good God Almighty. He says, "That's it." Dave Simon, you know what you're talking about. He retweeted me.
Too. That's even better.
The quote retweet, so you see Dave Simon on JR's page. Not the first time JR has retweeted me. He's my man. Me and JR, we like the same kind of music. We like the same kind of barbecue sauce. And we like the same kind of wrestling, pal. Good.
Oh, boy. Right. Now we're into JR conspiracies now. I see that. Wow.
Are there conspiracies?
Well, you didn't just see what Jason just wrote?
Jason says JR knew about the Montreal Screwjob. Stop the lies, JR. No, he did not, pal. How dare you? JR would never know about such a thing. He's tougher than a $2 steak. How dare you say these things about JR? You must be goofier than a pet coon. All right? How many other JR-isms? How many other JR-isms can I fit into the show? Hold on.
I'm sure you could fit in
The production team is taking over for my guy. I'm trying to bring Glenn back on the show, but I can't.
I see Glenn.
No, but he's muted. The team
flexing.
Oh, we can't hear Glenn.
Thank you. There you go.
Oh, I can hear Glenn now.
He's back. The
You
production
can't hear
team...
me. You muted me? I was just talking shit about JR. No wonder you couldn't hear me.
Well, I'm glad I'm muted.
Talk about conspiracy theory. All of a sudden, I say something bad about JR, and all of a sudden, I'm muted.
You shouldn't ever do that. Did you not see what he just did? He retweeted me. All right. Any wrestling legend that retweets me is good.
Mackenzie don't Twitter. I don't know about Twitter. I don't know what happens.
Look at that. That's JR, baby.
Don't mute him again though. When you go to the screen, you mute him all the time.
No. Glenn, I think, is back. Or no, he's muted again. Hold on. Goddamn team.
Yeah, I knew it. That screen, the screen of death right there.
It's okay. He's back now. He's pretending.
Really? I don't hear him.
I'm pretending. Yeah.
Oh, I can hear him now.
Because I was pretending before.
JR did not know about the screw job. How dare you, Jason? He says it's a joke.
Well,
he says
JR
could comment. He could comment on curling and make it exciting. I mean, I don't know about that. Curling is pretty damn boring, pal.
Man, I'm not. They got to get Jericho on color commentary, man. They got to get JR out of there. He's getting a little slow.
Oh, how dare you, pal? JR
I gotta tell you, man.
He's a legend.
I don't. He is, but I don't.
Get Shivani out of there. Get Shivani out of there before JR. JR is great.
Diamond ring.
JR just sounds like wrestling. JR could say nonsense words, and I would listen to it. Like, JR could just be like, hey, pal, $2 steak. Good God almighty. He could just go on a loop. We don't even have to have JR. Yeah, that's all I have to hear. Just hear JR say JR-isms all fucking night. It just sounds like pro wrestling. All commentary is really just background music for the wrestling in the ring, and JR's sound is just perfect for wrestling. He's just got that.
Jericho.
JR is. Nah.
I'm telling you.
Jericho's no JR.
Well, the thing is that's color commentating, though. Like, JR usually does play-by-play.
That's
so
right.
It's two different types of announcers.
JR is the greatest play-by-play man in the history of the wrestling business. Greatest of all time.
You don't
Chris
find Jericho.
Jericho.
A little bit slow. He's calling out botches now. Like when people screw up, I don't know if people are.
Which is good.
Yeah, it's good though.
I like it, but I mean,
I like his commentary because you could tell when he's watching shit that's not good. And he's not holding back. Yeah. Well, that's good because I'm saying the same thing, and I agree with him, and he's got that freedom. He couldn't do that with Vince. He couldn't do that in WWE. He's got more freedom in AEW. He's going to tell it like he sees it, and most of the times, he's right. And those guys should fucking listen to him. JR was saying the same shit I was saying about guys doing dives on their own tag team partners, and that seems to have stopped now. JR was saying, I was saying the same thing. JR probably watches this show. I mean, he does follow me on Twitter, so it's not out of the realm of possibility.
He's basically your best friend.
I'm just saying we are buddies. So, JR.
He's going to say it.
Yeah. JR, he said, just like I said on the show, that guys were doing too many dives on their own tag team partners. Just a bunch of, people crowding around the ring, waiting for people to dive on them, and it looks silly, and it was not realistic, and it should stop. I said it, then JR said it a few days later. JR took some heat, but if you watch AEW, it doesn't seem like people are doing it anymore, and that's a good thing because it makes their wrestling look phony as hell. And JR just remembers a time when wrestling looked more realistic. I like wrestling to look as realistic as possible. As realistic as possible, right? I mean, that's pretty simple. That's how it should be. That's what, we grew up on. Wrestling that, they didn't want you to know it was a work back then, right? I mean, we grew up on wrestling where they tried to make you believe it was real. They, didn't always succeed, but there was the attempt. Now it's just like, let's just do moves. Who cares? I mean, everybody knows it's fake now anyways, right? That's what Luchasaurus is fucking.
You know how many fights I got into school when I was in school, in elementary school, because people would tell me wrestling was fake, and then I'd lose it.
I remember
to this day. I still
like,
kind of get angry about it.
I was a kid, maybe 6, 7, 8 years old, and I remember my dad telling me it's not real. Like, they're not really fighting. And I was like, why are they so angry then? I mean, that doesn't make sense. I didn't even believe him. I was like, get out of here. That's not real? Why are they fighting then? They're just going to pretend to fight and people don't know it's real? And people know it's not real and they still watch it? That's crazy. That's crazy. He was right, though. My dad was right. Chris Jericho. He's being interviewed backstage. Pinnacle attacks him, drags him to the stage. They drag him to the ring. They spike pile drive him. And you wonder, where's Inner Circle to defend their hero, to defend their leader? And then you cut backstage, and they're in their locker room that's been locked from the outside somehow, and they're like trying to break the door down. Nobody's helping them.
Bat.
Was it the bat? It looked like maybe they had the bat, but they also had like a stool at one point. They were kind of smashing into the door.
Looked like a bat to me. I thought it was a bat the whole time.
John, bat or stool?
I thought a sledgehammer, to be honest.
Oh no!
A sledgehammer. It was Triple H.
I think it was a stool. Anyways, like a bar stool. Yeah,
maybe
like
the stool from last week that broke in two there when he threw it on his head there. It could have been
Miro's chair.
The dollar store stool.
Yeah.
He's now smashing through doors.
So Inner Circle was stuck in their locker room. Jericho's getting beat up in the ring. They set up a table outside the ring, and it looks like they're going to kill Jericho. Wardlow picks him up for a powerbomb in the ring, and it looks like he's going to powerbomb him outside the ring through a table. And you're like, my God, he's 50-plus years old. Please don't kill Chris Jericho. And then, who comes out to make the save? Not the Inner Circle, but Mike Tyson, who was advertised for the show. And I wonder, like, how do you advertise a guy for the show and then he shows up to do a run-in? You know what I mean? Like, AEW promoted him showing up, but when he showed up, it was like kind of a happenstance situation. Like, if Jericho doesn't get attacked, like if Pinnacle doesn't do the whole attack on Jericho, does Mike Tyson show up on Dynamite tonight? Right? Because AEW was advertising him. He did?
Yeah, you saw him backstage.
Oh, I must have skipped over that, or maybe I was watching TakeOver at the time. Walter and Ciampa wrestled tonight, and I was kind of paying attention to that too. I didn't see much of TakeOver tonight. I saw a bit of Walter Ciampa, which I liked. I heard the tag team match at the end was kick-ass, so I'll get to TakeOver.
I'm gonna watch it after this.
Johnny, you watch TakeOver?
I watched it after WrestleMania, traditionally.
Whoa, so you're waiting a while. Okay, I see.
Well, that way it doesn't take away from WrestleMania.
Yeah. I guess so.
Huh?
Makes sense. No, I understand what he's saying. I totally understand. Yeah, because it's usually much better than WrestleMania, so he wants to see.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So he doesn't want to be kind of like, oh well.
It's a letdown on the Mania.
It's WrestleMania is okay, but it's not as good as TakeOver. It's like use TakeOver as your dessert. I understand. I get it, John.
Yeah.
Mike Tyson shows up, rips his shirt off, and then he goes after Shawn Spears. Why was Shawn Spears the only guy in the Pinnacle that didn't leave the ring when Mike Tyson showed up? Seems like he had plenty of time to leave, but he just didn't. Tyson punched him.
He was there.
It was
he
weird.
was the only one that didn't know he was there.
It was very strange. And then
He was pretending like, where is he? Who's that? I didn't hear his entrance music.
Yeah. How was he the only guy in the group that didn't know?
I don't know.
He's not smart.
Guess not. He got punched a bit in the gut, and then Tyson took him down with a double leg takedown and then threw more punches. And then Tyson almost fell out of the ring when Pinnacle was pulling Spears out of the ring. I don't know if you noticed that. Tyson was like, oh!
Yeah, I did. I don't know who's worse walking around as him or Jake the Snake. I don't know. They look like they're about to fall at any time.
Jake is worse. I think Tyson is in slightly better shape. He does look like pretty jacked for however old he is. And he won a boxing match recently. Although, no, it was ruled a draw, even though he totally beat Roy Jones. But you know boxing. Boxing's crazy. When you see like a clear decision one way, they always rule it a draw because like, hey, more money in the rematch, buddy.
He's on all kinds of shit though. He does
Mike
that
Tyson?
stem cell.
Oh yeah, he's on all the things.
He does the same shit that Ken Shamrock. That's because Ken Shamrock's in incredible shape too, right? So he asked them, "How do you look at like that at this age?" And he goes, "Well, I go to this clinic. I think it's in California, and
they have them everywhere."
Shit.
Yeah, Joe Rogan does that stuff too, and he talks about going to like Ecuador where you can get the real shit, and that's where he goes or something.
Yeah, but now they do it somewhere in California, like.
But I don't think
Mexico anymore.
I don't think it's still. I don't think it's as good as the stuff you can get like in other countries. But I'm no expert on stem cells, so
yeah, that's why he looks incredible. And Ken Shamrock.
Yeah, you look good, but you also look like a bit odd. You know what I mean? Like. Like, there's a certain look that those old Jack guys have that's like, you look good for your age, but you also look kind of strange for a human. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
you look good for, like, a man of your age, I suppose. You're, like, in shape, but you don't quite look like a human being. There's, like, something odd about your shape and body.
It's like
I'm
a
more-
He-Man doll that you left in the sun for too long, or you put
Right.
in the oven.
Yes.
It's kind
Yes.
of melting a little bit.
It's a little leathery. You know, it's weird. It's
It's weathered.
yeah, it's strange. It's a strange look, and
Yeah.
it doesn't seem natural, but hey, good for
That's
Mike.
my future. I'm about 10 years away from that. That's my
Hey,
goal.
Well,
I need to be leathery.
I hope you need a deeper tan, I think, to get that look.
Impossible. There's no way I could. That's why I got tattoos. I can't tan, So I just did this shit. So
It's because
people
you're
will leave me
Scottish.
alone.
Scottish people
Call me
can't
the cream
tan.
for a reason.
Yeah.
They call me the cream for a reason, Dave.
They call me the clear. They call me the cream and the clear.
Hey.
Because I'm on steroids. So Mike Tyson took Sean Spears down. Now, to me, why would Mike Tyson ever be shown a takedown? Like, why would you be like, hey, Mike, you want to take a guy down? No, that's okay. I'm going to stand up. Like, don't you think Mike Tyson should stand up?
That was hell of an impression.
It was the shittiest Mike Tyson impression ever. It's awful. I was trying to do it because I was trying to, like, get into the Mike Tyson spirit. But
You did the perfect amount of time, though, because that way
just-
nobody can tell.
Yeah, that's it. You just do 3 words, and that's it. Mike Tyson sounds exactly like the Nate Diaz impression I do. It's the same thing. It's the same voice. Yeah, I'm Nate Diaz. Fuck you. That's basically it. Hey, you want to smoke some weed, Nick? Yeah, let's go. I'm Nathan Diaz.
Well, it's basically Carmen.
Yeah, it's Eric Cartman. My Eric Cartman, Nate Diaz, and Mike Tyson, same impression. Hey, Nick Diaz.
That's a bad kitty.
Nate Diaz, bitch. What the fuck are we talking about? So
I don't
Tyson,
know, man. We've lost
Tyson like threw punches, which makes sense, but then he took a guy down, which is weird, right? Like, to me, if I'm fighting Mike Tyson, Glenn, I texted you this before. If I'm fighting Mike Tyson, I let him take me down because, like, why stand up with the guy? You're not going to win. If he goes for a takedown, you're like, thank God he's going to take me down. I'm in way less danger now than I was a second ago because Mike Tyson standing in front of you throwing punches is devastating. Mike Tyson on top of you throwing punches, you might be able to swing an armbar in there or some shit. So, it's a little less intimidating. I just thought it was a strange move. Like, he's throwing punches to Spears. Cool. And then Tyson initiates a takedown. Like, if
he wants to win the round.
Right.
He wants to make sure he wins the round in the
it
judge's
was
eyes.
strange. Like, if he were fighting MMA and he went for a takedown, his whole
the last 10 seconds.
his whole corner would be like, no, don't do that. Get up, stand him up, stand him up. Like, no one would ever allow Mike Tyson to take a guy down in a fight. For some reason, he does it tonight. I just thought that was funny. Mike Tyson.
He fucked up the takedown, too.
It wasn't great.
He had to pull twice, The guy was like, what are you doing? Are you actually, okay, I'll fall.
I don't think he was
literally,
supposed to do
too close
that.
to the ropes.
Yeah.
He was in the corner, I think. The guy was stuck in the ropes. He's like, what are you doing? Like, we didn't discuss this at all.
Yeah, it didn't seem planned whatsoever. And
No,
Jericho was like
absolutely not.
posing with Tyson for so long, trying to get him to look at the hard camera. And Tyson was just looking at the Pinnacle guys in the
wailing
crowd.
around.
He was just like, Jericho was
Because
like,
he's high.
Jericho,
He's high as fuck.
probably,
He does
but
shrooms
like,
all the time.
I mean, I don't know what he's doing. I know he's got his own weed, but like, I really hope he wasn't on shrooms tonight.
No, he is. He does it he does it all the time.
You should not be
I
on
listen to
mushrooms.
him.
Like, I think mushrooms are fine or whatever, but you shouldn't be on mushrooms and pro wrestling at the same time. People could get really hurt. It's not smart. I really hope he wasn't.
Isn't that what he did on the last time he was on? Like, he admitted that he was high. Oh, no, during the boxing match.
On weed?
Sorry.
Though. Just smoking weed, not
No,
mushrooms.
no. I think he was on a bunch of shit. You'd have to look it up, but I recall him being on a few different things. That's what he admitted to. But probably microdosing,
Yeah.
which isn't as bad. It's not like
And
he was
Mako's
tripping
saying,
balls,
"Don't
right?
worry, if you fight Tyson, you won't be standing long." Yeah, for sure. But like, if you are fighting him like Sean Spears technically was tonight, and he takes you down, Sean Spears should be like, "Thank fuck." That's getting out of the old trouble there. Anyway, so Jericho and Dax Harwood will wrestle next week with Mike Tyson as the special enforcer. Jericho will have Sammy Guevara in his corner. Dax will have Cash Wheeler in his corner. All the other members of Inner Circle and Pinnacle are banned from ringside, and Mike Tyson will be the special enforcer. Okay. I guess they're taping another Dynamite, like 2 Dynamites. Next week won't be live, right? Because they got Mike for only one night. He's not going to show up next week. Huh. And also, John, you brought up a good point on Twitter, at North Genesis. You said, why is Mike Tyson a special enforcer for this when he's obviously in Jericho's, corner, right? He's helping Jericho. He attacked one of the Pinnacle guys tonight.
Well, they kind of also killed the heat with him and Jericho. They shook hands, so it's like it's fine if he attacks the Pinnacle, like you just wanted to, do some justice. But the fact that they killed the heat between him and Jericho, it's like, well, obviously he's going to be in Jericho's corner. Like, obviously he's like a face and like a biased face that. So yeah, it's a little unfair. But I mean, you have Mike Tyson. If you can use him, obviously you use him, and he seems to be best used for Jericho. So I get that. I was just a little disappointed we didn't have his entourage. I thought that's what made him really interesting, was having all those extras around, because that really made it seem like you don't know what the heck's going to happen, because those guys, I don't know if they knew what was going on.
A lot of confusion. Jason Pete says they couldn't legally have a winner for the Mike Tyson fight because it was an exhibition. That's why they had it a draw. So why did they go to the judges? It's just weird. That was a weird deal. But you could bet on it, though, right? So was it a fight?
Bet on anything.
I don't know. Well, then why not bet the draw?
I think it was because of their age.
It was weird.
That's why it wasn't sanctioned or something like that.
Well, Mike Tyson's going to be the enforcer next week. Whatever. He'll help Jericho win, probably. The Young Bucks and Kenny Omega. So Kenny and the Good Brothers get the win over the Bucks and Jon Moxley. The Bucks are wrestling Kenny. The match is going on, and Kenny is hurt. They hit the more bang for your buck on Kenny, and he looks hurt. And Matt Jackson is checking on Kenny, asking him if he's okay. They're opponents at this point, but of course they have the long friendship, and Matt, feels for Kenny. And then Moxley's like, come on, guys, you got to finish him. They set him up for the BTE trigger, and Kenny's down, and he looks at them, and he's like, do what you got to do, guys. Just do it. And Matt can't do it. And Nick's like, I think we should do it. And Matt's like, I can't do it. And then Moxley tags himself in. Matt tries to hold him back, but Moxley pushes Matt away. Okay? Moxley hits his paradigm shift DDT on Kenny. Then, as soon as he does it, he gets right into Nick's face, goes nose to nose with Nick Jackson for some reason. Even though Nick seemed like he was on Moxley's side until then. Nick didn't like that. Moxley goes, hits another paradigm shift on Kenny, just rubbing it in that he's going to put a beat down on their friend in front of them. And then he goes for a choke, chokes him for a while, releases the choke, goes for another paradigm shift, a third DDT now on their friend Kenny that they are concerned about. They want to beat him, but they don't want to hurt him. Moxley's there wanting to hurt him. So the Bucks are like, fuck that. Double super kick on Moxley. And I popped big time. I goddamn loved it. Fantastic. Hit that motherfucker. And then the Good Brothers, they hit the Magic Killer on Moxley. Eddie Kingston showed up, tried to save Moxley. He gets a Magic Killer. They drag Kenny over Moxley. 1, 2, 3. Kenny and the Good Brothers win. Good Brothers hug the Bucks after the match, and the Bucks are like not really feeling it. They're not sure if they're down. They're not really happy. And then they set Mox up for the Bucks. The Good Brothers hold him up, and they're like, come on, Bucks, get him. And then Don Callis kind of whispers something to Matt Jackson. And Don Callis has been the guy pushing them to get to this place, saying that they're not the same as they used to be. They don't have the same edge that they had in New Japan. They're not the same guys. They need to find that spark. They're empty inside, and they need to find themselves once again. They need to find what made them the best tag team in the world once again. And when Don Callis told Matt Jackson whatever he told him in the ring, it was all Matt Jackson needed to hear. They were deliberating whether or not they should kick Moxley's head off again, but then they made their decision. Boom! Double super kicks again to Moxley. Moxley's laying. Kingston's laying. and the band is back together. The Good Brothers want it too sweet, but the Bucks say no. Let's just hug it out, baby. Big group hug in the middle of the ring. Don Callis is in there. Kenny's in there. The Bucks, the Good Brothers, everybody on the same page. Everybody on the heel side. Exactly as it should be. What a fucking group. Fuck yeah. Bullet Club. For life. Hell yeah. Goddamn, I love that finish. I'm a big fan of these guys. I'm a big fan of what they did. I'm a big fan of that type of attitude. That's what got these guys hot. That's what got these guys over. The Good Brothers, the Bucks, Kenny, just being these slimy fucking heels that beat you and you hate them for it. Hell yeah. I loved it. Loved it. And the fact that it's Jon Moxley who they're taking out and Eddie Kingston makes it that much sweeter.
Why was Kingston limping? What was going on there? He came like Terry
He's got
Fox
his leg.
down to
He
the
got his
ring.
leg broken. He's got like a walking boot.
Oh
that he's wearing.
shit, that's right. Yeah, like 2 weeks ago or whatever.
Yeah, he's selling the injury.
Yep.
But those guys are not my favorite guys in AEW, And when the band comes together and they take their wrath, they unleash their wrath on fucking Eddie Kingston and Jon Moxley, doesn't get better than that for me. It's really perfect. John, what'd you think of the finish to the show tonight?
It was all right. To me, a lot of drama, but I'm glad that we actually finally had an end to this because I feel like they've been dragging this way too long. Where it's like, oh, the Bucks are not going to join them. The Bucks are going to join them. We've kind of gone back and forth on this for the last couple of weeks. So I'm glad that now, at least from what it seems, we have a definite, okay, they're with them. This is what's going to happen. They're going to be heels. And now we can finally kind of go forward because, I feel for the last couple of weeks, it's always been flip-flopping back and forth. So at least now it feels like we have some closure to this where it's this is the way it's going to be, heels, which is kind of weird because if they're going to have that title defense against Pac and Phoenix, I feel like they're also heels as well. So that's kind of weird that they book two heel teams like that, but oh well.
Yeah, it's weird that they've booked them that way, but are the Death Triangle, I guess they are a heel team because they're feuding with the Orange Crush team, Orange guys.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but, that's one time for next week, and they're heels to some people. They're on the heel side, but to me, they're the baby faces. And I think to a lot of people, they're the baby faces. That's who we're cheering for.
To some, I think to most, they'd be considered the heels because, they turn their back on their partner.
He turned their backs on them, and he tried to assault and permanently injure one of their best friends. Jon Moxley,
Who was their opponent?
This is how I see it, John, as a Team Elite, Team Bullet Club guy. Jon Moxley,
Twisting the narrative.
Jon Moxley is a piece of shit because he tagged himself in. He went to hit the paradigm shift on Kenny, and then he got in Nick Jackson's face. Why did he get in Nick Jackson's face? He shouldn't have done that.
He was getting frustrated that they weren't doing anything to win the match. They were just standing there for 20 minutes. Should we finish him? Finish him?
They're friends, and they didn't want to hurt him. They didn't want to hurt their friend. Okay?
I've heard a few of my friends.
And Moxley is a cold bastard. Yeah, but you didn't put them unconscious. You didn't permanently injure them.
What are you talking about? Have you ever seen me at a tournament?
Well,
you're not my friend.
Are you trying to permanently injure somebody? Or just beat them?
Not permanently, but
if they're your friends.
I mean,
yeah, okay.
Just tap, and I'll let you go.
Well, yeah, that's it. Just tap. But that's not pro wrestling. It's a different thing.
I'm not going to crank it.
Yeah, well, there's a referee there to stop you. This is pro wrestling, Glenn. This isn't the real world. It's a little different here.
Come on now. No, but I hate Moxley. What's
that's
with
right.
Moxley and doing his little Nakamura bullshit that he was doing in the ring? Did you see this? Am I the only guy who picks up on this? He's doing the Sinke.
He does
whatever,
a little.
You pronounce his name.
Yeah,
he's always doing this shit now, and he did a little spin, and he was like that, and
I don't know.
I was like, what the fuck is he doing? If you can't dislike a guy more, I disliked him a little bit more tonight.
Yeah, he's annoying.
Horrible.
I love seeing him get kicked in the face. That was great. I love
hate
the
him.
Bucks
Like,
doing
it's
it.
Just, great paradigm shift DDTs though, but that's because of Omega selling it really well. But I mean, still, like, it's I can't stand him. I can't stand watching him.
Yeah. And
What's wrong, Dave?
I don't know. I'm seeing comments on the chat. It's just weird.
What's wrong with the comments?
Mako's saying
no comments.
Mako was saying that I was advocating for more gay content, and this is more gay content. I don't think any of the Bullet Club guys are actually homosexual. I mean, Kenny's kind of teased the.
Is it because they hugged? Is that it?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess.
Yeah, he's talking about the Golden Lovers.
I guess to Mako. Yeah, but Kota Ibushi's not there. I guess to Mako, men hugging each other is a gay act. I mean, I don't know. I think it's. I don't think they had sex with each other, if that's what you're saying. I mean, maybe they did, and we don't know about it. And in that case, that's totally fine. And I have no problem with it. Take it easy, Mako. Take it easy. I mean, I don't understand. Some people are just mad.
Have them call in.
Yeah.
Aren't people supposed to call in? Isn't there a call-in thing?
Yeah, call in, Mako, if you want to explain what you're talking about on the chat. It's just weird stuff.
Let's talk about it.
Talk about it, Mako. Come on. There's nothing... There's nothing. I don't think they're gay. Any of those guys in the Bullet Club. Is it because they hugged? You think that they might all be involved in a romance of some sort? Because I'm pretty sure that the Bucks are both married with children, to women. And I think Don Callis is heterosexual. I think he's so heterosexual that it's gotten him into trouble in the past, according to some rumors that we've heard. Yeah, different rumors that we've seen around, right? I've seen some things. I've heard some things about Don Callis. I don't know.
I've seen a few things.
Don Callis is overly heterosexual, I think. A little too heterosexual for his job title with Impact Wrestling. Anyways, next week on Dynamite, it'll be Darby Allin versus Matt Hardy in a Falls Count Anywhere match for the TNT title, which should be fucking awesome. Like, yes. Next week's show looks good. Jericho's going to wrestle one of the revivals. That'll be fine. Mike Tyson, Jade Cargill's going to wrestle Red Velvet. Yes.
Yeah, that's good. That's
Cargill time.
That should be all right.
Anthony Ogogo.
I don't know about Cargill.
Cargill time. Cargill time, baby. It's all about Cargill.
Okay.
Anthony Ogogo is going to make his in-ring debut, so that's cool, I guess. Young Bucks are going to wrestle Pac and Phoenix, which could be incredible. And then Darby versus Hardy in a Falls Count Anywhere for the TNT title. Holy shit. This is all good stuff next week. Especially that Darby-Hardy match. It is for the belt, right, Johnny? The title's on the line. Can Big Money Matt, take the belt home?
Well, this is the fun part about Matt Hardy. It's like he's over, right? So you believe Matt Hardy could easily win that title. It's possible. I don't know if he will. I feel like it's a little too early for Darby to lose, but Matt Hardy, he's so over. I can see it happen.
No.
It makes sense. How long's Darby held the belt? A while, right?
It's almost 200 days now.
He's not going to drop it to Matt.
I don't know.
That's not going to happen. No.
Why not? Matt is trying to do something with his whole team,
Nah, I know. I don't see them. I don't see it going that way at all. I mean, it could, but I mean, anything could happen. But I mean, I really don't see it going that way. Why Matt?
Why not? He's great.
I don't think he's as over as Johnny's saying. He's kind of like a filler more than anything right now.
Not to me. I think Matt is fantastic.
He could be much more than what he is.
That's right. So give him the belt. He's got a faction now that he's running. He's really good on the mic. He's a legend of professional wrestling. He could still have kick-ass matches. I like Darby.
You have him go with Christian a little bit. They'll probably set up a Christian kind of Matt Hardy.
Not now.
Going on.
Not now.
Well, maybe not now, but it's coming in the future.
Well, let Matt Hardy run with the TNT title for a while. Give him a little title run. I'd like that. I'd like that. And Mako, I guess he said he was joking about the Bullet Club stuff. I didn't get it.
I'm sure he was.
It was a weird joke, Mako. I didn't really understand it, but that's okay. That's okay.
You guys gonna think Enzo's gonna show up? There's gonna be any Enzo Amore coming in?
I hope not.
Really? Did you see the promo he cut on Instagram today?
I mean, he's
Incredible.
He's got a few nice
What'd
lines
he
on
say?
Instagram. He just like said
you gotta
some
watch it, man.
Enzo-ish things. It was
You
just
put
like
it up
a lot
today.
of.
It's one of the best promos I've ever seen.
I mean, is
And
it
he's showing
though?
up in
He's a good
Florida,
promo.
so he's showing up. He says he's going to Florida with Cass, so I don't think he's going to show up at Mania, but he might show up. Is an Impact film there?
There's a lot of
Florida?
wrestling being filmed in Florida this week.
So
I
I
think
think
it's
he's
a lot
going
of
to show up on
Nashville.
Impact.
Yeah, but it's WrestleMania
Is it?
week. It's WrestleMania week, so there's a
Yeah.
lot of small companies running shows in Florida this week. They could be at any
That's
number
true.
of shows. They could be at the Joey Janela Spring Break. Like, there's a lot of shit they might be at. Like,
Watch it though.
Just because
he
you're going,
dropped a lot
the
of stuff.
whole wrestling world is in Florida this week. AEW, WWE, they're both in Florida, and every other indie wrestling company that can travel that's trying to do something is going to be in Florida this week because it's WrestleMania week, and it's not the same because it's pandemic times. But wherever WrestleMania is, the whole wrestling world kind of converges on that spot for the whole week. So I don't see Enzo and Cass really teasing going to one of those
Talked
companies.
about them breaking up the band, but now the band's back together.
Yeah, I don't know. He's got
watch
like
the promo, man. I'm telling you,
I watched
you never
it.
know.
No, I watched it. I saw it. You said you told me about it. I went and I watched it. But he's got some clever lines and stuff. But it's just like one-liners. There's no substance to it. There's no real direction. Just a bunch of one-liners kind of stacked on top of each other. And he's good at that. And he's always been good at that. And that's cool. But I remember when he wrestled.
I don't think he was that bad a wrestler, honestly.
He wasn't very good.
He wasn't.
He was pretty bad.
He was a cruiserweight champ.
Remember when he concussed himself on the rope? Was that his fault, John?
Well, yeah. But that was an accident. I mean, shit.
Was it?
He almost got
yeah.
decapitated. Yeah, man.
There was a few things. There's a few things that he did.
That's
because
he was trying to oversell it. He wasn't protecting himself. Fuck.
I don't know. He was not great. Cass was not great. They were an over tag team. They should have kept them together as a tag team.
Drug addict at the time. I mean,
things happen.
He seems to be better now.
Hey, things happen. Demons. We say demons here in the wrestling business.
I don't know. I think they'd be great in AEW, man. I don't see him going back to WWE for sure, but I'd love him in AEW. I think he'd be fantastic.
I don't
they
think
need people on the mic too.
I don't think they'd fit in. I think they'd be exposed in the ring really quickly. Because you don't have like a very basic, easy style to work like you did in WWE. Like you really have to show out in AEW. And, you see these teams that are a little bit green that try too hard. It doesn't work very well in AEW.
They had some good matches in NXT, though. I agree with you.
Yeah, but they kept it basic.
WWE,
Keep it basic. They kept it basic in WWE. They were told to keep it basic. They were overly produced, and that's how you get these guys to work. I don't know, John. What do you think about Enzo and Cass? Do you see them working outside of the WWE as a major act?
Well, I think a lot of people remember them. So wherever they go, they'll be over. There's no question about that. And I imagine, I would hope anyways, that the wrestling has gotten better over the years. What I've seen from Cass, he looks like he's in the best shape of his life. So yeah. I think they're worth taking a look at least.
Okay. I don't know. I liked them. I thought that they were a fun tag team. They had good promos. They had good chemistry. They were over. But once that bell rang, it wasn't always great. Sometimes it was not bad, though. They're a serviceable tag team. I think in AEW, they'd be exposed a little bit. I think in WWE, they were used perfectly for what they were at the time. And in AEW, I think it's a little too wide open. You have a little bit too much creative freedom, and I think that would be bad for those guys. Anyways, we'll see. I'm not holding my breath to see Enzo and Cass come back into the WWE or AEW.
I want to see him. I like him.
All right. Well, Glenn is a big fan of Enzo and Cass.
I am. I don't know what to tell you.
If I had a dime for every time Johnny North told me he wanted to see Enzo and Cass, I would have 0 dimes.
0 dimes.
I feel like that's not true. I feel like I've wanted to actually see Enzo and Cass a couple times.
God damn it, John. I said 0 dimes.
Oh, it's incorrect. Again,
I don't remember
might
the
be on
promo.
some white stuff.
I remember the promo. Do you remember the promo, John? Do the promo for us. Do the Enzo.
I would
Cash
have
promo.
no dimes.
No, the whole thing. My name is Enzo Amore, and I am a certified G and a
Bonafide
Well,
stud.
it's
Thank
not the
you.
same thing anymore.
bona fide stud, and you can't teach that.
Teach that.
And this is Big Cass, and he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. Bada boop. Realest guys in the room. How are
How
you?
you doing?
Yeah.
How are you?
How are you?
How you been?
How you been, pal?
How's it going? Sup, bro?
Oh, God.
I believe it's the big Cal Z now, I think, instead. That's
Okay.
his name.
Cal XL, I thought he was going by.
Something
no.
like that, but I feel
That's-
like Enzo calls it Cal Z or something like that.
Oh. Wasn't he Cal XL? Or am I just confusing him for Carl XL? Shout out to
Yeah,
Carl
it sounds like
LeDuc.
you're confusing it.
Carl LeDuc, Carl XL, shout out. Where's Carl these days? How's he doing? Is that all right?
Hopefully his dad's doing well too. Shout out to Paul the Jew.
Yeah. Is Carl still wrestling? He must be, eh?
Well, nobody's wrestling now in Quebec.
No.
Who's that? Carl Willett?
Carl LeDuc. Carl LeDuc.
Carla Duke.
Oh, actually, PCO is still wrestling. He's wrestling Ring of
Yeah,
Honor.
he is. Yeah.
PCO still
Yeah.
wrestles, yeah.
He's still trucking along, man. It's crazy.
You know Carl LeDuc because he was in Wrestling with Shadows. Was it in Wrestling with Shadows when Stu is stretching him? And he's like, ah!
Yes.
Yeah, Stu stretches him in Wrestling with Shadows. I remember
Really?
watching
Yeah,
Wrestling with Shadows and being like, I know that guy. That's Carl LeDuc. Anyways. All right, guys. That's enough wrestling talk for tonight. That's enough nonsense from us. We'll be back Friday night, 10 p.m., right after SmackDown to preview WrestleMania. Don't forget to check us out online. Go to merch.ringsidereport.net. We have merch. See this cup I'm drinking out of? It's got my face on it. You could buy it at merch.ringsidereport.net. Okay?
Is Johnny on there?
No.
Nope.
That's
That's
why.
rude on
That's
that
why
one.
it's like sex sells, man.
Oh,
Sex sells.
Super chat.
You-
Whoa. Angelo hitting it. Thank you, Angelo, with a super chat right at the end here. Did Angelo take over? Did Angelo just become the super
Probably.
chat leader? Because Patrick had
He's right
one.
there.
Oh, Angelo did it. Always at the end, Angelo comes through and like nails it just by enough to be the super chat leader of the night. You did it again, Angelo. You're a genius. Great post show tonight, guys. Thank you, Angelo. Thank you, Angelo. Shout out to you. We love you. Angelo is the man. Jason Pete as well. Shout out to you, Jason, being a member of the team. Angelo, Jason, everybody else. Everybody else that's a member. Of course, Patrick C. Hamilton. Can't forget him. Douglas Hepburn.
You got a new follow too. Nice.
Huh? Yeah, new follows, new super chats, new things happening, new members. Become a member of the team. Become a member of the YouTube channel. Just go to the YouTube channel. Click that little $, become a member. We appreciate you. You could go to donate.ringsidereport.net to become a member as well. Buy us a coffee over at donate.ringsidereport.net. YouTube doesn't take a cut of that, so that's nice. Donate.ringsidereport.net. You want Google to keep my 5%, or you want to give it right to me, right? Donate.ringsidereport.net, or become a member on the chat, and, we still get that, but, Google gets a piece, and, do they need a piece? They are hosting to a certain extent, so. Shout out to Google. We love you, Google. We're pro Google on this show. Pro Google.
It's our home.
Don't turn on Google.
No, I'm not turning on Google. We love you, Google. Whoever owns Google, whatever, we love you. Shout out to Google. Shout out to Facebook. Shout out to Twitch. Shout out to everybody watching us on Google, Facebook, and Twitch. You can go to ringsidereport.net to know more about us. You could follow Johnny North on Twitter at North Genesis, on Instagram at Genesis Johnny North. You could follow Glenn. Glenn, what are your things? You don't tweet enough. Somebody's got to take over your
I'm
West
not on
Island
Twitter, man.
You are.
Mackenzie don't tweet, man. Mackenzie don't tweet. Am I on Twitter?
Yeah.
I'm not supposed to be. That's a fake account.
No, it's
No, it's
real.
a
Fake
Supposed
account.
It's fake.
I'm a D-class celebrity, man. People
amazing.
imitate me all the time.
You
That's
last
not me. I promise you.
GB West Island. At GB West Island.
I got a gym one, that I made like 7 years ago. But
Yeah, and you haven't used. You got to promote your gym on Twitter.
Mackenzie don't Twitter, man. I draw the line at Twitter, man. I'm on Instagram, GB West on. You can find me on Facebook at Glenn McKenzie, or you could look me up on my Glenn's Only fans, their sites, and you can find me on there.
Do you have
all
one
over the place.
really to plug, or Is that just bullshit?
No, Glenn's only. No, not yet. Only Glenn's. Only Glenn's. That's what I'm going to call it. Not yet. Coming soon, though.
Fred Garcia told me, he sent me a text yesterday. He's like, man, I keep getting ads for Diego Sanchez OnlyFans. I think I'm going to sign up. I was like, do it. I want to sign up.
I would.
Apparently it's free. I mean, I have no idea what's on it, but like maybe Diego Sanchez's penis. Who knows? Crazy. Crazy. What a crazy world we live in, you know?
Yeah. Tough times out there, man. Tough times.
Tomorrow night, Jon Moxley will wrestle Josh Barnett at Bloodsport 6. That's cool. Tomorrow night. Bloodsport 6.
Well, later tonight.
Moxley versus Barnett. Yeah, thanks, John. That's a fun match. Jon Moxley, Josh Barnett. It's going to be like MMA style. That Bloodsport's like shoot-style wrestling. It's pretty cool. It's a cool gimmick. I might even buy the pay-per-view. I like Josh Barnett. You got to like Josh Barnett, right? He's a badass. A lot of wrestling this week. I'll be back on here tomorrow night, 8 p.m., for Ringside Report MMA. There's a UFC show on Saturday. Kevin Holland is going to fight Marvin Vettori on Saturday. I know it's WrestleMania, but the UFC keeps on going. So we're going to preview the UFC fights tomorrow night here. Ringside Report MMA every Thursday night at 8 p.m. here on the Ringside Report Network. Johnny and I will be back Friday night to preview WrestleMania right after SmackDown. After WrestleMania SmackDown, special Andre the Giant Battle Royal on SmackDown, tag team title match. A lot of shit going on SmackDown this week. We'll be on right after to preview Mania. And then, of course, big weekend right after WrestleMania on Saturday, right after WrestleMania on Sunday, 2 nights of WrestleMania. Johnny and I will be here both nights to recap both nights of WrestleMania. So that's it. I'm going to be here every night until, I don't know, what, Tuesday? Next Tuesday? Tuesday will be my next off night, right? On the Ringside Report Network. I'm here tomorrow night for Ringside MMA. Friday night for the WrestleMania preview. Saturday night right after Mania for the Mania Night 1 post show. Sunday night right after Mania for the Mania Night 2 post show. Monday night right after Monday Night Raw to recap that. So I'm going to be on here for the next several days, all right? You're going to get a lot of Dave.
Man in radio.
That's right, except I'm not on the radio anymore. I've been banned. I've been banned from Bell Media.
Did you get banned?
I'm too hot to handle. Yeah, they banned me. They banned me. They're scared.
Really?
Yeah, they're scared.
You got banned?
I got banned. Apparently, if you used to work for them and then no longer work for them, you're banned for life, I think.
Really?
I think so.
Is that what happened with that other, what's that guy, Tom Morello, or not Tom Morello, it's the guy from Rage Against the Machine, but what's his name, Tony Amonte, or, because he's got his own little podcast thing going on now. What's his name?
I don't know about him. I think you're talking about Zach De La Rocca. He was the
no, I'm not talking about Zach De La Rocca. No, I'm talking about the guy who was on TSN all the time. You know what I'm talking about?
I think he's still there.
Tony Marinaro. There you go. The guy who pauses all the time when he talks.
I think he's still there.
Is he off?
I don't know.
I don't know. He's got a podcast now, so.
Yeah, well.
I see him advertising that.
Good luck to him. Good luck to him.
Marinaro with his 10-minute pauses between talks. So.
I'm
the Habs.
I'm going to plead the fifth. I'm not going to say anything. I don't want to say
what they got to do.
I'm not going to say anything. I could say things, but I'm not going to say anything. I'm going to keep it classy. I'm going to be a gentleman. Okay.
Remember when I broke his hockey game there at the station? I broke his little
that was Aaron
I lost
Rand's.
his puck.
That was
Aaron is that what it was? I lost his puck.
Yeah, and you could do that shit all day. I don't care. Fuck that guy. Fucking crypt keeper looking motherfucker. Anyways, we'll talk later.
Yeah,
Love you guys.
Got dark. Got dark. He's got dark.
Yeah.
He's kind of a dick, to be honest, that guy. Not Tony. Tony's all right. The other one, kind of a dick. Hey, what's he going to do? What's he going to do about it? You can see why I'm banned.
Nothing.
Right? I can suck it.
Do nothing.
They can suck it. I'm going to be on one of their podcasts, though, tomorrow, so be on the lookout for that. Some of the TSN guys that they have a podcast, and I'm going to be on it this week, which is fucking hilarious. Oh, I love it.
Cool.
I love it. I love it. Oh, shit. Thanks, guys. We love you. Shout out to everybody watching, all the chatters, all the people, all the members. Okay? We'll see you tomorrow night, 8 p.m., Ringside Report MMA.